Good day. How you guys doing? Wow. Is the internet ever blowing up with a whole whack of craziness? Alright, just let me get this up and running here. Give time for people to come in. Okay, let's see what's going on. Man, this world is going to shit. America Off Grid, how you doing, my man? How you doing? So we are live, and I maxed out. I didn't max out completely the settings for the video, but I turned it right up. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that looks. So let me know how the video looks off the hop. By the way. But I turned it all up so that it should be right smack dab up there in the top of the let's see what we got here. No, monetize, save. Alright, let's do this. Enable auto stop, yes. Enable. Boom, boom, low latency. All right, perfect. Uphill, how you doing? Live chat, live redirect, monetization, details. Yep. All right. That's the only thing. Thumbnail. Let's put. All right, let's do that. We'll save that. We'll do this, and we'll do that. All right. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Danielle, Wayne, you're early. Stop throwing off the cosmic balances. Yes. Well, how early am I? Oh, it's only 9 o'clock. I'm usually 9:05. I'm on. It's not too bad. All right. Let's see. Harry, have you checked your email? No, I just sat down. I can check it right now. Harry says instructional video for the anal swabbage. Alright, let's check this out. Let's turn the chocolate covered bananas. Harry, you're a funny man. You're a funny man, Harry. Alright, let's get this up here. Let's go here. YouTube. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted Twitch. I want to make sure Twitch is where it's running. Let's do this. There we go. Alright. Perfect. Yeah, we're up and running there. We're up and running here. Alright, we're up. We are up. So how's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? I got that damn friggin' flu cold thing going on right now, and I have no idea why or what it is, but never first, damn it. You were first, were you not? He said, hey, you got notifications working today. Hello, little one. Did I lose my face? Yeah, there we go. I should set it so that it's not autofocus and just have it manual, so that when I move around, it's not bad. What's up? Want to say hi? Sure. All right, let's say hi. Say hi to the beautiful people.
Hi.
So, some orbs in your studio. Yeah, they've been happening all day, and I've noticed them on the camera. So tonight's show. I'm going to be talking about a few things. Some of it has to do with our next generation of kids coming up, kind of like my baby girl here. And the stuff that is going on around the world right now, I have to tell you, it is very, very disturbing. Very disturbing. Because it is our duty as parents and grandparents to keep care of our kids. First and foremost, I don't think there's anybody in here right now that has kids that will go, okay, Mr. Government, uh, you know, can you please keep care of my kid for me while I go and do whatever I need to do? Is there anybody here right now that would trust the government or the people in the government to say, can you please, can you babysit my kid for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, the rest of their life? I don't think anybody in here would agree with that. But here's the situation. This is what we're doing right now. By accepting the money that they're giving us, which we need, some of us absolutely, genuinely need it. That's what we're doing. So, I got emails from people that literally told me, get off my ass, go get a job, go do this, go do that. And I sat down at first. I was a little pissed off. I was a little mad at first. I was like, how dare somebody sit there not knowing my situation, thinking they know my situation, telling me to go get a job and stop being a bum and asking for handouts. Well, here's the thing. I don't think that that's what I'm doing here. I think what I'm doing is I'm providing entertainment. I'm providing a place for us to all come get together. Hold on. That wasn't me. That was her. You got to take the blame for Daddy. So here's the deal. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Okay? And it's nothing I won't say in front of my family, I won't say in front of my kids. My parents, and I checked, before I checked into this, okay? Before I was going to come on and say this, and I've said it before in the past, Lori, America Off Grid, you guys have, you've seen me and talk and stuff like that before. Here's the deal. I did some history in my family tree. Asked uncles, asked aunts, and checked out documentation, stuff like that. I have never I do not come from anybody we can go back almost 6 generations in my family. Not one family member on my mother's side or my father's side has ever owned a slave. Never. I know, shocking, right? We've never owned any slaves in our family tree. History, nothing. Never. So here's the thing. Why do I and my kids gotta go through a day-to-day life right now listening to the schools, the teachers, the TV, and everybody talking about the fact that white people owe black people reparation and all this other shit? Now, is racism real? Yeah, it's real. Does it happen on a day-to-day basis? Yes, it does. But here's the thing. Are we going to start judging people by their color of their skin, including white people? Are we going to literally be sitting here and saying that my daughter and myself and my other kids literally have to suffer because of a few rich people in the North America history, not even Canada here, not even in Canada, but this is happening all over the world now? Do people not realize how stupid they sound when they say white people owe black people money? Money's going to fix it? Instead of getting the truth out and talking about the stuff that's going on, but all of a sudden, as long as we open up our wallets and start throwing out money, everything's going to be okay. Here's what I think. Okay, you go upstairs, go to bed. Okay. Love you.
Me too.
I see you. I'll be up in a little bit.
Okay.
So we're going to get into exactly what I think and how I feel. Make sure it's closed tight. There you go. Thank you. How I feel in about 2 seconds. I've had people call me ignorant today, yesterday. I've had people call me rude. I've had people call me a lot of different things. Listen, I got kicked off of Facebook on my other channel because I speak my mind, and I'm not about to shut up now. I got 40 years on this planet. 40 years. Birthday just passed, which thank you guys, everybody, for being there and all the wishes and that. But here's the thing. I've never owned a slave. Never will own a slave. But let me make this very, very clear for the whole entire world and YouTube and all the platforms that I'm on right now. Not myself, not my friends, not anybody I know that is white is going to act like a slave. Which means if you're an asshole, I'm going to say you're an asshole. If you're out of line, I'm going to say you're out of line. Character over color. And I don't give a shit what your nationality is or what the melanin of your skin is. I don't care. Enough with this crap that is going on in the world right now. And literally people are sitting here talking about the fact that white people, as far as I'm concerned, that puts my whole family and my kids in that category, and that's not acceptable to me. I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. So if it sounds like I'm all of a sudden becoming, ooh, Wayne's racist. No. I don't want to have to turn around and sit there and tell my kids that because they're blonde hair, blue-eyed, and light skin, that they're going to literally have to pay for the rest of their lives or, do this or no. That's not going to happen. The buck stops here. Right here. It ain't going to the next generation. It's been going on for long enough, and I don't care what anybody says. Buck stops here with me, and it ain't going to my kids. My kids aren't going to have to sit here and have to deal with this fact that all these people that are out there right now, as far as I can see, are just lazy kids using any excuse for a fucking handout. Get off your ass, get a job. Simple. There's white people that are bums. There's white people that are having a hard time. I don't see the white privilege helping them out. I see a lot. I could drive to Ottawa an hour away, and literally, I could show you a bunch of white people right now freezing their ass off in minus 30 weather. Where the fuck's their white privilege? And you know what? There's probably a black guy right beside him, or a Chinese guy, or a Native American right beside him. Guarantee you there is. So the problem isn't color, the problem isn't race, the problem is that the government just uses us as pawns to fight each other so that they can fill their pockets up. If you think that that's not how it is, next time you're in a crisis where you have no power or you have no water or something's going on, I want you to look up at the people that are running the show that you pay to keep you safe, and you tell me where they're going with their families and what they're doing. They should be the ones that are sitting there front lines. That's what they're paid for. They're paid to get this shit and get it under control. But what's going on? They're losing control. I watched a video today where Biden literally was asked by reporters how the crisis and how the stuff at the border was going. He couldn't get out of that friggin', that was the fastest I've ever seen that guy move since he's been in office. Literally. Out. We got it under control. Gone. You do not got that shit under control. It wasn't under control when there was people running, guards running up and down the fucking place. And now you're saying it's under control after you left a big ass hole in there? Listen, I'm not holding my tongue anymore. Simple. I'm not holding my tongue anymore. If that means I get kicked off of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, I don't care. The fact is that the buck stops here with me, and if it seems like I have to take the bullshit of being called a racist piece of shit because I don't think any one color is better than another, then so be it. Call me whatever you want. I'll take that. You know why I'll take that? Because I'm not about to let my kids and my grandkids have to deal with the fact that now they're going to be the minority in their country, and they're going to have to turn around and bow down to people because they now all of a sudden a small, might I add, a small percentage of black people that are racist are using the history of North America to benefit themselves financially? That's disgusting. That is disgusting. We thought that that's disgusting. Politicians are using it to get themselves a better seat in their government. If it seems like I'm a little pissed off, it's because I am. The Don Godbag, thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. Absolutely disgusting that the government can use race to get to benefit themselves, put themselves in a better position, and then they turn us all against each other. Politically, left against the right, black against white, whites. Do you know that we're in a time right now? We're in a time right now where it's white people against the whole colored community. Mexican, Italians, everybody that is not white is against one culture right now, the white people. How fair is that? How fair is that? You got North Americans, you got the Chinese. I think the Chinese are probably the only ones that aren't really in North America anyways, that I can see, that aren't even complaining. They're just out there working their fucking ass off every single day like soldiers. And then people sit there and wonder why they're able to do what they're doing in the world. It's because they got the fire in them and they move forward. They educate their kids to no end, and they'll fight to the death regardless for their beliefs. That's the problem with us right now. Nobody believes in God anymore. Nobody believes in Jesus anymore. Religion has gone out the window. Nobody is believing about any of this shit. And we're wondering why all of a sudden we're going to shit in North America here. You know why? It's because we don't get off our ass and do anything. North American, we have more obesity and more fucking health problems than any other country in the world. You know why? It's because we got complacent in what we did through over the years. Well, it's 2021, guys. Time to get off your ass. And if you ain't going to get off your ass for a cup of coffee or a donut, then at least get off your ass so that you can't turn around and have your kids go through this shit. Unless you just don't care. Well, then if that's the case, then unsubscribe and go to another channel that doesn't give a shit about what's going on in the world. But I'm telling you right now, I am so sick and tired of people saying gimme, 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 and not working for it. And for the people that sit there and think that I'm sitting here just asking for handouts, give me money, and do nothing for it, you know what? I challenge you to get on front of a computer, say your piece. You can't even go out in the street and say it for your own freedoms in that, or your religion. Pastors are getting arrested and put into jail. Priests are getting put into jail. You can't even get off your ass for that, and then you're going to sit there and tell me that I got to get off my ass and go get a job? Do what I do every single night. I get hundreds of emails saying I'm a fat ass this, I'm that, I'm blah, 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 whatever. I don't care. I got big shoulders. And I'm going to fight through all of this. I'm going to fight through all of this with myself, for my kids, for God. Do you think Jesus turned around and went through all this shit that he did in his life so that people could just turn his back and act like whatever? No. Everybody says, well, if this happens. Well, it's happening, people. It's happening. It's happening right now. Now, I'm not sitting here pretending like I have all the answers, because I don't. I just woke up this morning looking at the stuff and realizing that I'm 40 years old and I don't heal and I'm not as young as I used to be. But I got a 2-year-old son that's going to have to grow up in this world, and a lot of shit can change from now to then. And I'll be damned if I'm not going to have my kids grow up in a world where they can plug in their remote control car and their car at the same time and not hear the rumble of a fucking Hemi. It's not going to happen. I didn't go through everything I went through in my life. I didn't lose the friends and the family that I had. It's just for this country. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I don't think you guys over in the States are going to let it happen either. That's my rant for tonight. I've never owned a fucking slave. Never going to own a slave. And if you can tell me, if you could show me somebody right now in 2020 that is in North America that is a slave, then point me in that direction and I'll make sure that fucker he's freed and he gets to have a free life. It ain't happening. It doesn't happen. These kids running around with $600 fucking Nike shoes or Adidas shoes or whatever the frick they're buying nowadays, talking about being repressed, walking around with, $200 gimbals and a $2,000 cell phone, videotaping the fact that they're burning down police stations and shit, and they say that they're repressed, while the police literally sit there and watch and don't do nothing because they don't want to be labeled as being racist. And then the people that stand up and actually fight back to keep their community safe, they get labeled as terrorist organizations? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Thank you, brawler. That is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. Now let me guess. The kids that, are getting everything fucking handed to them, have these expensive gear, they're out every single night burning and looting and doing whatever the hell they want to do, and nothing happens to them. But yet the Proud Boys or any other organization like that ends up getting dinged and gets arrested and everything. Let me guess. Is that what white privilege is now? Because I don't feel that. I'm telling you right now, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe walking around the street knowing that people know that I don't give a shit what color you are or what. You want respect? Earn it. I don't care who you are. I've never gone through my life sitting there not giving somebody respect or doing this. Have I made jokes about people's color and this and that? Fuck, of course I have. Everybody has growing up. I don't think anybody has ever sat down with their friends and family or anybody and has not said, whatever joke. Everybody has. But you know what the point is that it's not acceptable. You learn. You don't do it. I have colored friends, and they're literally sitting there telling me, man, this shit is getting ridiculous. I'm like, why don't you come on my air? They're like, nah, man, no. The people of color are ashamed of the people that are out on those streets protesting. It wouldn't matter if 1,000, 100,000, 1,000,000 black people stood up right now and said that's unacceptable. You know what would happen? You're just, you're bootlickers, you're Uncle Toms, or just sit down. You don't talk to. But the 10, 15 people that are running around the streets, I guess they're the majority votes now. Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna let it happen. Not in my house, not in my family, not in my town. I don't care who you are. You want respect, you earn the respect. That's it. It's simple as that. Character over color. I don't care about color. Don't care. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Mexican, Chinese, black, whatever. You're not gonna look down on me or my family or my friends or anybody else for that matter that I keep dear to my heart just because they're white. It wasn't okay 100 years ago for the black people to deal with it, and it ain't okay for it to happen to white people now. So let me tell you this, if there's no happy medium in between, then there's going to be a lot of arguments going to take place, because I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't okay back then for it to happen to them, it ain't going to be okay for it to happen to us right now. And I'm not going to let it happen to my kids or anybody I have around me. It's as simple as that. I don't care. Racism is racism, and I don't care who it comes from. The world needs to grow the fuck up, is what they need to do. They need to grow up. People need to stand up, grow some balls. Yeah, I said balls. And you know, this whole shit that's going on right now, like, it's just being hijacked by a bunch of little misfits that feel like they're entitled for what? I have no idea. I cannot comprehend how somebody can literally go out there, has not done shit with their life, and expect that everything is theirs. In what world do you live in? What world do you live in where everything just, and if you don't give it to me, I'm just going to scream and yell? My 3-year-old doesn't even do that shit anymore. I say no, and he just listens. And I've never once laid a hand on my kid, ever. We gotta, man, if you got kids and you think the world's going to shit, we need to start looking at ourselves. It's fucking toddler world. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Bunch of babies running around. Literally, police so scared to do anything, they won't even do their job anymore. And then when they do their job, they're forced to take extreme measures because they're dealing with, like, people that are getting killed. Like, a guy holding a knife going to a car with an infant in it that just got into a fist fight with police, picks up the knife, goes back, gets shot, and he's a hero? How the fuck does that happen? Do you think that would happen if that was me? Do you think right now, if I went outside, I got into a fight with a bunch of police officers, had a knife in my hand, and got shot, do you think there would be protests for me? Or for you? If you think that for 2 seconds, what about those 2 guys that died and got shot? 3, actually. In Kenosha. Does anybody know their names without Googling it? We all know George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Does anybody know the guys in Kenosha that ended up getting killed? Those white guys that got killed for the cause? Was there any protest for them? Was there anything? Did anybody even speak of it at all? Nobody. So now we're just, white people are just pawns for the whatever racist black people. Yeah, what about the patriot that got shot in the Capitol? Yeah, we know Kyle shot him. Yeah, for sure. We know who he shot because the media made sure to make him look like he was some kind of racist guy shooting, people out of Black Lives Matter movement when he didn't even shoot any black people. He shot the white people. But yet, for some reason, he's racist. He's racist. It couldn't be that the guy just had a threat and he neutralized the threat. As simple as that. He neutralized the threat that was coming at him. And if I do, when I was looking at the footage and that kid held some. He was holding himself. The restraint that kid had and the discipline that kid had with his gun. Man, we had more people like that in the world. We wouldn't have to worry about shit. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, that I'm sitting here now on social media platforms, literally trying to figure out how I'm not going to allow my kids to be subject to any kind of discrimination because of their skin color, because they're white. And I know there's going to be a lot of people. I can hear it right now. I can see it in the emails. I can see it. Yeah, well, Wayne, guess what? That's how the black people felt all along. So maybe, you know what? You're getting a taste of your own medicine. Well, I never fucking did that to anybody. So it's not fair that I get thrown and my kids get thrown into the same boat as the white bigot pieces of shit. If it's not fair to throw every black person in the same boat, or every Native American or Chinese or whatever all in the same boat, then white people shouldn't have the same. It shouldn't be okay for that either. Not one person says anything. Not one politician, not one person has said anything about the fact that white people now are on the shit end of all this shit, and we're literally being discriminated against. We're being judged against, all by the color of our skin. So the very thing that they're burning cities down, and the government and the mayors and the people that are the officials are allowing these people to do it day in and day out for over a year now, because they have a lot of pent up anger, a lot of stuff going on, that we just let them get it out. Well, what's going to happen then whenever the white people turn around and be like, hey, enough is enough? Can't say black. I'll say black all day long. Black, 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 black. White, 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 white. Chinese, Mexican, whatever. I'm not holding my tongue anymore. It's ridiculous. Most ridiculous thing. Why can't people just go out? And you know, and I know, I understand right now. Okay, and right now is our, you know, kind of like messed up times with COVID and all the other shit that's going on. I get that people don't have jobs and stuff like that, but everybody is struggling right now. Not just black people, white people. Hey, I'm white. I have bills coming in that I can't pay. Does that mean that I'm going to start blaming people for it now? Well, you know what? It's been, over a year now? White people have been labeled as pieces of shit. Well, now, when do we get a kickback? And here's the thing. I want to ask you guys something. Kamala Harris and, you know, your president literally sitting there saying that they're going to come up with a plan to have some kind of reparation for the community, the black communities and that. Who's paying for that shit? Do you think that's coming out of their pocket? That's coming out of your pocket when you pay your taxes. That's coming out of the colored guy down the street. That's coming out of his pocket too. So the black people are going to be paying for the black people, and the white people are going to be paying for... So you know what? Let's just take the color and the race out of it. Everybody's going to be paying for racist individuals. Okay? Racist individuals that cried and screamed long enough that the people just said, fuck it, give it to them. You're going to have to pay for it, regardless of what your skin color is. Your taxes are going to go up, which they already have. And these little racist, little running around, doing what they want to do, little hoodlums, whatever you want to call them, you're paying for them. Because they don't want to get off their ass. And I can tell you right now, I can tell the future. You want to see? Watch. Hold on. I'll get the crystal ball out right now. You know what I foresee the future? All these kids running around, screaming they want this, they want that. Oh, they're not going to be able to work when they get a little older. Do you know why? Do you know why they're not going to be able to work? They're all going to have PTSD from all the flash bombs and the night after night of the police just coming at them. So guess what? They all get PTSD, they get disability. Guess who's going to be paying for those little fuckers for the rest of their lives? You. Oh yeah, that's a world I want to be living in. And that shit's going to happen for so long that our kids are going to be paying for that. Nice haircut. Nah, I've always had my hair like this. Man, am I ever saying all the shit that nobody else... Am I saying the shit that everybody's thinking but nobody wants to say? You're welcome. I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy that says, I don't care what color you are. You want respect? Earn it. You want money? Go earn it. You want a better life? Go earn it. Go do something. Man, I have brand new glasses on. I could read the chat better now, and I still read that chat. I thought it said you got head. I was like, what? How do you wink? I can't read. I can't read the chats. The chats on all the platforms right now are just blowing up. I can't keep up. Wayne Live. I was watching a video of 100 random facts, and one of them was some Canadian police departments issued positive tickets to thank people for doing something good. Yeah, it happens. Oh, newsflash. Not all officers are pieces of shit. I fucking know, eh? I know. It's crazy. I don't even like a lot of the officers in my area, but there's some really good ones. There really is. There's some real pieces of shit too. But does that mean the whole force and the building needs to be burnt out? No. They just need better training. That's what they need. They don't need to be defunded. They already got enough shit on their fucking plate. They need to be better trained. All this money that you plan on giving to the little brats that are screaming and yelling on the streets, take that money and give it to the officers so they can get better trained, so the officers can go and deal with the little pieces of shit in a proper way. There's an idea. Instead of just giving the money away to the little brats that are just going to use it for drugs and everything anyways, give it to the officers. And then the officers are still going to have no funding, no nothing, and undertrained. Just take that money, give it to them, then they could turn around and they could fix the problem. Shit, that'd be amazing. Hey? That won't happen. You know why? The same reason why our justice system, the jails and that hasn't changed in forever. Jails make money. Wars make money. Why do you think Biden, as soon as the guy got in, boom. These guys are out there fighting again. How does a guy love war so much but hate guns? I don't get that shit. How do you hate war so much but have no guns? What do you think you guys are gonna do? Just like run around like the Palestinians throwing fucking rocks at everybody? Is that what's gonna happen? And just for the record, I think the Palestinian people are amazing people. Being treated like shit. We won't even get into that. But just, right? So everybody's just going to run around like Canadians now. Going to get the nice little blue hat there with the little vest that says Peacekeepers. Don't shoot me. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh no, you're right, Soldier Boy. I hear you. How they're enforcing the COVID laws and stuff like that. Well, it's because they need money. They need to put people in debt. It's how they control them. It's all paperwork. It's all shit that's just I owe you, and then the next thing you know, it's like, if you do this, we can get rid of that debt. The debt that they, put you in. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. What do we got here, man? 126 people in here, 80 likes. I didn't expect I'd give very many likes tonight, but So what's the point of this channel? What was the wait? What is this? What was the startup cost for this channel? Like $10? Laugh out loud. All over this travesty of Twitch channel. Oh, hey, nobody's telling you to stay. Nobody's telling you to stay if you don't like it. But let's get into this. I wanted to show you guys a video of what is going on here in Canada, because we got here, let me just check this out right here. Give me 2 seconds to pull this up. Give me 1 second. Where is it here? There we go. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Ready? So we all know that. Okay, here, let's bring this up.
To see the inside, so I'm not asking for anyone's pity. I'm here to figure out what's going on, to show the inside story of it, something that the mainstream media, the mainstream media just 2 months ago was saying that this was a conservative conspiracy hoax, right? Well, I'm standing.
So, just to give everybody an idea, here in Canada, they've basically said that, the whole shit that was going on, there's no quarantine camps, there's no facilities, no nothing like that. This is what, and these guys have been covering it for so long, and then all of a sudden, boom. Find out that it actually is real. So here, let's watch this video.
In the physical manifestation of that fake news, because this is real. This is, people are living through this right now, and it's terrible. Their personal liberties have been trampled on by Trudeau. They deserve better than this. They're being treated worse than prisoners, and they have to pay for it. It doesn't make any sense.
Sheila Gunn-Reid for Rebel News here in Calgary, standing on the backside of the Acclaim Hotel because my friend and colleague Cian Bexte is on the 3rd floor, confined here because this is one of Justin Trudeau's forced quarantine facilities. It's a COVID jail, and Cian was taken here Sunday night, so yesterday, late afternoon, to start his forced mandatory quarantine. Cian just came back from Florida, where he was on assignment for us here at Rebel News, but because Cian doesn't work for CBC and is a non-bailout journalist, he doesn't get the same sort of exemptions that Trudeau's pet journalists do to travel back and forth across the border. And so in the interest of journalism and transparency, Cian is inside this facility documenting life for at least the next 3 days, about how he came to be there and what it's like, and who knows, he might even meet some new friends amongst his fellow Canadian inmates. So I'm going to pop on the phone with Cian right now. We're going to do a bit of a Romeo and Juliet interview where, in this instance, I'm Romeo to Cian's Juliet, and he's going to let us know what his first night inside the COVID jail was all about. Okay, Cian, you are, I guess, starting your first full day in COVID hotel hell. Give us, I guess, the logistics.
The person she's talking to right now is on the left-hand side. It looks like there might be a couple on the right quarantining. So just a little rundown for the people that don't know. If you fly into Canada, regardless, if you fly out, but the moment you fly back, before you can get on a plane to fly back to Canada, you have to prove that you've taken a COVID test. You have to prove that you paid for a 3-day stay, 3 days, at $2,000 your cost. And if you test positive at the facility, because you got to take the test before, and then you got to take it when you land. And if you test positive at this facility here, you get removed from this facility and brought to another location, which we haven't figured out where they bring you yet. We haven't figured that part out yet. But if you test negative and they allow you out of this place in 3 days, you go home under heavy surveillance, and you have to stay in your home and not leave for 14 days. And you get checks and this and that. And if you breach these conditions, you can face a $750,000 fine and 6 months in jail. That's right, you heard me right. I didn't pull a bite in there. I didn't mess up a $750,000 fine and 6 months in jail for breaking those rules. Welcome to Canada. Let's get back into this here.
Of how you got into the acclaimed
Can't
hotel
drive.
in Calgary. Like, were you taken by bus?
Borders are closed.
Was the bus marked? I see that there's another bus here, and I don't know if that's also taking captives or what.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a long story because I went to the airport. I obviously landed at the airport, but then I refused the tests that they wanted to take on me. There's a law that allows me to say, no, I don't want an object being put in my body, and I think that's reasonable. I get to decide if Justin Trudeau wants to put something in my mouth. I get to say no to that. I think that's my own right, and the law even says so. So I said no, I'm not going to do it, and that threw the whole process for a loop. Everything sort of collapsed. The public health officers, they just sort of left. They were very upset that I wanted to call my lawyer, and then I was just left alone at the hotel.
Not do the test.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
That's your prerogative. We put it out to local law enforcement to see if they're going to take any action for non-compliance. We put that in their hands.
Sure.
All we do is just then flag you as being non-compliant with the current laws that are in place, but we are in no way able to force anything like you said that's into your body. So if you are non-compliant, then we do have to flag you off.
Well, would I be able to call my lawyer then before we make a determination?
I will not be speaking with your lawyer.
No, I'm calling my lawyer.
And then eventually I was just like, well, can I just go to the hotel myself? So I got my car, checked into the hotel, and now here I am.
Weird. Now, this is a newer hotel. It's not as terrible as some of the other hotels that we've seen, particularly in Montreal. This seems like it's a nice hotel.
So there is about 28 of these facilities throughout that we can identify, but they're only listing a couple of them on their websites, which is really weird to me. And some of the facilities that we're finding are still under construction. Now here's the scary thing. Here's what's really scary about this whole COVID thing. Okay? What's scary about it is that they say they have, the vaccine, they have all this other shit going on, the whole 9 yards. But here's what's scary. Why are they still preparing like they're not going to be able to get this shit under control? Is it and then all of a sudden it's like, see, that's what bugs me. Is the virus real? Yeah, it's real. Do they have a vaccine? Yeah, they got a vaccine. Should you take the vaccine? That's up to you to talk to your doctor about. Talk to the professionals. Do what you feel right. Do what you feel is right. And that goes back to what I've always said before. You always have to make sure that you do what you feel right is, and your morals are pointing true. Simple as that. Your moral compass is pointing true. That's it. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. Not my point of view. Not anybody else's on YouTube or out there at all. As long as you think that you are doing what's best for your family with the advice of your family doctor, then you do that. You do that. If people want the vaccine, then take the vaccine. If that's what's going to make you feel safe, then you take it. You should be entitled to take the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, then you should be entitled to take the vaccine as well. But you shouldn't be discriminated against because you don't want to. That's all I'm saying. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't, you don't. Then that's up to you. And talk to the professionals. That's it. That's it. That's all I can say about that without getting in trouble. I think a lot of people know where I feel, what I already feel about that. But you should be able to do that. Sending you a file email right now, Wayne. This will explain it all to you. Yeah. I have a podcast that I'm going to be putting in a link. I forgot to put it in the link. That I speak pretty much about all the stuff that I know is going on. And yeah, I can't say it on these platforms, but needless to say, we're not heading down the new norm. There's that's gone. If anybody ever thinks we're going back to the days where, at least not here in North America, not for the next long while anyways, if you think that we're going back to the days where kids used to hang out at the mall, the movie theater, and all that other shit, that ain't gonna happen. I do not see that happening at all. And even if they did vaccinate everybody, nobody's gonna be running up to anybody. Hey, how you doing? It's not gonna happen anymore. Interactions, it's gone. They've destroyed the mindset of everybody in this generation right now, except for the kids. The kids don't. The people that are protesting, they don't seem to care. Why should they? They're not even getting sick, little fuckers. Must be immune. COVID knows what time it is during the day, and they know. Even COVID is racist. Driver's license describes me as a white male. Going to, tomorrow to get them to change it. Less white male. That is the most. And just the very. Like, could you imagine if we were to say that, but have it where it was black? It would be. That's not funny. Let's pretend you just said that was. That's not funny, man. That's not funny at all. Why do you think that it's funny to joke about your driver's license and your skin color like that? That's not right, man. That's not right. Why would you do that? Could you imagine? Maybe, just maybe, white people need to be just as sensitive about being called a cracker, or a bigot, or a slave owner, or too white. Maybe we should stop being lazy about that kind of shit. Stop being lazy about that shit. There's an idea for you. Maybe we should just be just as sensitive to that kind of shit. But actually, you know what that would do? That would just cause more chaos and more bullshit. You got called Uncle Tom by a black guy? Yeah. And then and I don't want to hear any more about white privilege anymore. To me, that's racist to think that I'm entitled to things or I get things just because of my skin color. Diminishes the fact that I had to work for something to get it. Oh, look, he's got a fancy car. He has that because he's white. Fuck you. No, I have that because I worked hard for it. Oh, look. He's got brand new whatever. It's because he's white. Fuck you. No, it's because I worked for it. Simple. It's not acceptable for me to go, oh, the black guy over there's got a brand new car. Must be a drug dealer. If that's not acceptable for me to say it, then it's not acceptable for you to say that because of my color of my skin. Period. Done. If I can't sit there and make those accusations or assumptions, then you can't do the same thing to me. And you should be held just as responsible as if I was acting like a bigot piece of shit towards you because of your skin color. You should be held just as responsible for that, for doing it to me. And heaven forbid you do it to my kids. It's ridiculous. Your message was deleted, Commander? Maybe it's because you're too white. If you're too white, I think YouTube will take it down. I don't even on my new iPhone. I don't even put it in dark mode anymore because I don't want to be rude. I just leave it. But then again, I was thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't leave it in just regular mode. I should have it in dark mode. I don't know. I'm so confused now. So if I put my phone, you see, kind of childish, eh? See how stupid things can be? Check out. Let's finish up this COVID jail shit. And there.
Oh, but there are other guests at the hotel, right? Like, it's not a complete quarantine facility.
Yeah, there's people, you know, there's regular guests, they call them here. The hot tub is open. I actually asked the guy who checked me in, hey, could I use the hot tub, thinking that it would just be closed down, but no, there's other people here.
So I can't go to the hot tub?
But you get 4 fresh air breaks.
Oh,
4 fresh air breaks.
Yes.
4.
listen to that, guys. So you can't use the hot tub, but guess what we do give you for the $2,000 that you're paying for the 3 nights? Guess what you get? You get 4 fresh air breaks. Woo! Ain't that nice? I'd be the guy out there throwing friggin' fart grenades over the fence. There, here's your fresh air. Hello, yellow Porsche.
You can
Fresh
just,
air breaks.
just call the front desk and schedule a time with them.
Per day.
Per day, yeah.
They're Justin Trudeau's acting like we're these really risky people, right? That we have something akin to Ebola, and we need to be treated basically like prisoners to protect the Canadian society. That's
Absolutely.
obviously a lie, because you know the way they're treating me here is like I'm, you know, just sort of a regular hotel guest, but with conditions. You have to eat really
Did
crappy
Ram
food,
Jam get
and you're
kicked
not allowed
out?
to leave. And if you do want to leave, you have to
seen
be
that
escorted. You might have seen that guy he was walking his dog. We're given 4 fresh air breaks a day. It just
How
it
can
would
you
have been
complain for
safer me to go back to
$3,000?
my own home. I
How
wouldn't
can
have
you
seen
how can you
anyone.
complain for $3,000? You get a nice room, food's brought to you. Might not be the best food. It's brought to you, and you get 4 fresh air breaks. Like, what more do you want? What more do you want? Like, it's fresh air, and they're giving it to you for $2,000. An awesome stay for 4 breaks. That's awesome.
I wouldn't have been close to someone taking my test. I was close to like 6 people when they were taking my tests when they wanted to, and I was refusing. I was close to other people when I was coming into the hotel. I was actually in an elevator with one of the hotel managers who showed me into my room. He walked into my room with me, said, "This is, you know, what's up, here's the deal," and then he left. But I wouldn't have been in any elevator with anyone if I just went back to my own home.
Now, is there signage inside that indicates that this is a COVID facility? I guess my question is, like, are the other guests unsuspecting? Because looking at you as we do this interview, to the left and to the right of you, there were people who were trying to get my attention, clearly indicating that they are also captives like you are. And I guess maybe the entire 3rd floor might be the quarantine floor. I'm not sure, but is there signage inside that says?
Well, there's no signage on the floor. The only thing that would indicate that it's a quarantine hotel is that the entire floor is lined with these Rubbermaid containers that we're supposed to put garbage in, I guess, and they also put our food in it. So it's, you know, it's weird.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the food. It's Lent, so I'm fasting, so food is on my mind. Even terrible food. Tell me all about it.
I mean, there's a menu that you can order from, and I ordered the waffles and pancakes for this morning, and they came, and it was Eggo waffles, and
Look at that beautiful meal. That is awesome. Yellow Porsche, come on. You'd pay $2,000 for a 3-day stay for a waffle, and I don't even know what the hell that is, but you would pay that for that. Huh? Definitely you would. Come on, don't be hating on the great food that Canadians get to eat. Look it. You know what really pisses me off, though, about this whole thing? I'll tell you what really pisses me off. Is that you pay $2,000 and you're getting this wonderful food brought to you like this? I don't see any maple syrup on that friggin' waffle. Is there a shortage we don't know about? Is there a shortage of maple syrup? I have to start wondering. Where's the maple syrup? There's a lot of reasons that these COVID jails are wrong. It's a violation of several person's liberties. You know, you have the God-given rights. God gave you the right to be secure and to live and to be happy. That's your right as an individual. Nobody gets to tell you, not no government, nobody gets to tell you that you do not have the right to be free and to be happy. Nobody has that right. Nobody. And look, this is what they're doing. So you get, what is this? Liberties. It is outrageous, expensive. It's less safe than me just going straight home. I agree. I totally agree. And then going straight home. But the food, this is exceptionally bad. Ice cold and stale. Come on. It's ice cold because we're in Canada. We live in friggin' igloos up here. Don't you guys know that shit? It's colder than friggin' penguin nuts out here right now. It's minus 30 today. I went outside, boom, felt like a warm breeze. You know, minus 30 for us. No maple syrup on that shit. I don't know what's going on there. Let's continue this.
Crepes. And that sounds, I mean, the crepes sound fancy, but they're not. They were ice cold along with the Eggo waffles. It was.
So, not only is this detention, but guys, keep in mind that they could leave at any time. Oh no, that's right. They're not allowed to. They get stopped by security that they're paying for, by the way, because that's why it costs the $2,000, because you pay for the security. Isn't it a beautiful system? So they keep you there. But if you leave, if somehow you manage to sneak out of the facility, the federal quarantine facility that doesn't exist, by the way, if you do manage to get out, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's only a $750,000 fine you could be facing. 6 months in jail. Hell, you can go from a 3-day stay to 6 months free rent. With the same fucking food. It sounds like a win-win. Does it not? If you're going to pay $2,000 for that food and a 3-day stay, why not just walk out and get a 6-month stay for free, and you get the same food anyways? Get your money's worth. I don't know.
It was the most disappointing thing I could possibly wake up to. You know that moment when you wake up and you realize that, you know, something terrible has happened. You realize the conditions you're living in, or whatever it is. I woke up and I'm like, oh crap, I'm in this quarantine hotel still. And then
Later, Space Drive. You have a good night.
It's these ice cold waffles, courtesy of Justin Trudeau. Actually, not even courtesy of Justin Trudeau. I had to pay for this shit, right? I had to pay over.
He's like, the courtesy of Justin Trudeau. What the fuck am I saying? I paid for this. That's awesome. So the government, look at this right here. So it says, this is the rate type. It's government 3-day stay, 3-day self-isolation package. Really? It's a 3-day self-isolation package. So you pay the $3,000, or in his case, yeah, $2,000. Sorry, $2,000. You pay the $2,000. So let me reword this in a way that is better understood for people. I'm going to put you in a motel. I'm going to lock you there. I'm going to hire security. I'm going to give you shitty food. You're going to pay for it all. And on top of that, while you're here, I need your DNA. Can you give me your DNA? Well, actually, it's not even an option. You need to give me your DNA. So I need to stick something in you, either in your nose or wherever you want me to stick it. So I'm going to stick this in you, give you a 3-day stay, shitty food, all for a low price of a self-isolation package. Gonna give you a deal for $2,000. Really? If I put it that way, you guys would tell me to shove it up my ass. And I'm not talking about the COVID test.
They're asking people for $2,000 in some cases for these hotels, and they're giving us food like we're prisoners. They treat prisoners better than this, right? Prisoners at least get their garbage food for free.
That's eggs.
Yeah. And
wait.
Driving around,
Treat prisoners better than that.
That's eggs. I just noticed that. That's eggs, guys. That's eggs. That's pancake. That's waffles and eggs.
Right? Prisoners at least get their garbage food for free.
Yeah. And as I was driving around the hotel this morning, I noticed that you are attached to a pretty decent looking Italian restaurant. The Italian restaurant is open, but you can't order directly from that. Like,
Nope,
say you
I
wanted
turn into Kung
lasagna,
Fu
you
Panda.
can't just call and say, like, I need some garlic toast and lasagna. That's a no-go, right?
Oh,
Absolutely.
I just got asked a question on Twitch. Okay, this was a pretty good question here. So I got asked, does this happen for all the officials too? No. Actually, it doesn't. In Manitoba, one of the governors, or one of the mayors there, literally said that these quarantine rules, all of them, not some of them, but all of them, are they're exempt from it. So anybody in government is exempt from these rules, apparently, from what he said, because they were going to gyms and all this shit during lockdown. So they're exempt. Yay. Hey, after all, you're paying for it, right?
Absolutely not.
So if you want to get off the third floor, is that possible?
If I want one of my designated
My biz.
free times throughout the day, fresh air breaks, then I would be escorted by a security guard.
Listen.
And hopefully they don't sexually assault me, but I would get some fresh air.
Fuck, he's a smart ass. I love it. So here's another thing. If you guys didn't think that was bad enough, listen to this. You're paying $2,000 a night, or $2,000 for the 3-day stay. They removed the door locks. Not even kidding. They removed the door locks, and the security guards. Some of the security guards now that are there, that Justin Trudeau had put in there, picked the company, are getting charged with sexually harassing some of the people that were there. So not only did they take the door locks off there, but the guards are now being accused of going in and touching people that are there. And you're paying for that. So not only are you paying for this beautiful stay and great meals, but you're also paying for your to have a reach around. It sounds like a happy ending to me. How do you not? All for a low price of $2,000. They collect your DNA. They give you a 3-day stay. Great food. Great service. What the hell are people complaining about? I think this is a win-win. I've dropped $2,000 on things in college, that were a lot. Anyways, won't get into that. And you get 4, not 1, not 2, not even 3, above 4 fresh air breaks. Like, come on, man. That is awesome. That's the best. Guys, why are you guys not flying into Canada right now? How come you guys are not booking your plane and your hotel trip to come to Canada right now? I don't understand it. Everybody keeps saying to go to the States, but I think right now, coming to Canada, look at the deals you guys would get. It's a no-brainer for me.
So you get 3 times a day, like a prisoner, like you get time in the yard.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Time in the yard, and I can see right along the perimeter of this hotel. There's barbed wire fence.
Look at this. Look at this. Do you think that barbed wire fence is for people to stay out of this beautiful... This facility is so sought after that people have to be held out by barbed wire fence because they want to get in there because it's so great in these facilities. No door locks. Great security that touches you in the middle of the night. Great food. 3-day stay. All for a low price of $2,000. Man, I don't know why you guys are not booking your plane ticket into Canada right now. And you're secure. Look at that fence. You know that fence is keeping you safe. Come on, guys.
So, yeah, they're very. They don't, they're working on orders. They sounded really nice here at the hotel because it's an actual hotel that is hoping that they get business in the future. So they're trying to protect their own reputation. But Justin Trudeau has laid out certain rules that they have to follow. and it appears that giving absolutely terrible food and restricting our freedoms as much as possible is pretty much rule number 1 and 2.
So how do you get out of here? Like, how do we spring you from this, or how do you spring yourself? How does the clock run out on Kian Bexte stuck in COVID hell?
I'm expecting a call from a public health official here either today, tomorrow. I've booked 3 nights here at this COVID jail, and hopefully the public health calls me and says I'm free to go eventually. I don't know when that will be. I don't know how that will be or what conditions need to be met for that to happen, but I was told to wait for it, so we'll see.
And how much is this costing you? Because we've heard $2,000, we've heard other amounts. I think that $2,000 was designed to maybe scare people away from traveling. I'm not sure.
Well, it's in that order of magnitude. It's just about $1,000, all expenses included. Yeah, it's about $1,000, and then of course, we can't.
$1,000. See, it even dropped 50% off right now. If you want to fly into Canada, you get a 50% discount off right now if you book through us on this channel. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Okay, I'm joking. So before people start saying, no, I'm joking. If the government's giving 50% off right now, just book your appointment, fly into Canada.
This was the purpose of it, right? Like, I went down to Florida to document their vaccination program, but at the end of the day, what I wanted to see was the inside of these hotels. I'm here not by accident. I'm here because I wanted to see the inside. So I'm not asking for anyone's pity. I'm here to figure out what's going on, to show the inside story of it, something that the mainstream media, the mainstream media just 2 months ago was saying that this was a conservative conspiracy hoax, right? Well, I'm standing
All right,
for the
Commander, thank you.
manifestation of that fake news. Because this is real. People are living through this right now, and it's terrible. Their personal liberties have been trampled on by Trudeau. They deserve better than this. They're being treated worse than prisoners, and they have to pay for it. It doesn't make any sense.
Just going back to the cost of this, if you stayed on the first floor as a guest, and the second floor as a guest, or the fourth floor as a guest, I anticipate you'd probably spend somewhere in the realm of $175 a night. That's like the going rate of a 3-star Calgary hotel, but you're on the 3rd floor, so you're paying in excess of $300 a night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very expensive. It's not cheap.
That's outrageous. Kian, I suppose thanks for turning yourself into a human crash test.
No problem.
How do people find the work that...
My hat goes off to these guys at Rebel News right now. I'm telling you right now, these guys go over and above to expose what is going on out there right now. So if anybody ever has any doubts about Rebel News, like I did in the past, these guys are crazy. They're just straight up crazy. These are true people right there.
That you're doing, support the work that you're doing, because I think you are the first and only journalist that has been willing to do this to yourself.
Yeah, and nocovidjails.com is where sort of this whole story is unfolding, the whole process. I've been reached out to, and I'm not exaggerating when I say hundreds of people have reached out to me asking me about my situation. Many of them are going to have to go through this situation themselves. So we're providing not just accountability journalism to
the smokers would probably go to the fresh. You probably get when you get your fresh air break or the yard time. That's when I guess you would have your cigarette.
Justin Trudeau, but public interest journalism to people who are seriously concerned about their own well-being and what the process is going to be for them personally in the future when they come back to Canada. There's so many people that are interested in this because they're concerned about the security of their person. They're concerned about the financial issues when it comes to this. It's basically fine. And we're here providing journalism for them. So that you can go check it out at nocovidjails.com.
Yeah, there's so many issues wrong with this entire COVID jail system. So there's the idea that we are confining completely innocent Canadian citizens to a hotel. Then there's the head tax aspect of it, the forced testing aspect of it. And I'm just really proud that you were brave enough to do this to yourself, because we have had reports that it is a dangerous thing. So Kian, please stay safe in there.
Yeah, I will for sure. Thank you, Sheila, for coming out.
If you'd like to support Kian's real journalism, as the only journalist that is reporting from inside a COVID jail, as a detainee in one of these COVID jails, to experience the awful and unconstitutional detainment firsthand, just like thousands of other innocent
Danielle says,
Canadians,
"What's that smell?" Sorry.
please go to nocovidjails.com. For Rebel News, here at the Acclaim Hotel in Calgary, where my friend Kian Bexty is serving time without parole in a COVID jail, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you'd like...
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Oh, man. Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy. So, man, Canada is looking like the best place there is. I don't know why you guys are crying over in the States. Could be worse. You guys could be doing exactly what we're doing here. That would never happen over in the States. Or will it? Because they got, I guess, no, I don't think, I'm not going to say they get it. They have these facilities in the States right now. I got it on good word that they're going to start doing it in the States there too. Alright, let's see. 3 hours ago. Oh yeah, so here, remember what I was saying about no, I don't wish any of that, blind dude. Not at all. I don't wish it at all. But I do know that they're going to start implementing these facilities and start putting people in them soon in the States. Where you are, not in where you are, but throughout. I know that for sure. They're going to start implementing it. And just because the people in the chat here don't think that they would ever do it, which I would never go into it, there's thousands, millions of people that will. I won't say that anymore. It won't happen here. We don't say that anymore. It won't happen here. I guess not. All right. So here is. Remember, I was telling you guys that God, people's rights to being able to be connected with God and Jesus, and move forward with their beliefs. I want you to check this out, Lori. Yeah, just give me 1 second, Lori. Keep that link, and I'll give it. We'll come right back to that. I just want you guys to see this.
Censorship. Warning. Censorship.
Hi everyone, Mocha Bizargan here for Rebel News. I'm in front of Fairview Baptist Church in Calgary. Currently, the church is defying public health measures, basically by going beyond capacity limits.
Well, today we just gathered together for church. We had a few law enforcement come, some bylaw, Alberta Health Services, and the police came by early this morning around 11 o'clock. We let them come in and have a look around before our service began, and they left. And it was a full house today, and we sang, we worshiped, we heard the word preached, and so it was a great day.
Thanks, S. Barb.
Did the authorities have a search warrant? If not, why did you invite them inside?
The authorities didn't have a search warrant, but under the changes to the Public Health Act, it gives health inspectors access to any building that's not a private dwelling. It's not a good law, but we thought we would try to do our best to work with them as much as we can, and so as long as they're not disrupting our service, we let.
So under the new laws, anything that is not like a private dwelling, like a church, anything like that, the private health officials can go into it. So any business, anything that's business-wise or anything like that, they're allowed to go into it. They're not allowed to go into homes, but they're allowed to go into any businesses. So if it's, you could have your business, if you have your business at home and it's labeled as a business, they would have access to your home. Crazy, eh? This is all shit that's going to come down the pipe, guys.
Let them come in either right before or right after to have a look. And we have nothing to hide. We're not doing anything wrong, and so we have nothing to hide. Good morning. Say welcome. Thank you to those who are part of our Alberta Health Services, our peace officers, the CPS. Why don't we give them a round of applause? They're here.
Do you have a message to the City Council, Jihan Kanlokara, who assumes that a $250,000 fine would discourage you and other churches?
So this church, the pastor's already in jail. I think this is the one here. He's already in jail already, and he is likely the forthcoming ticket required a mandatory court appearance. Should give Fairview. Yeah, this is it. The guy's still in jail. Other than churches pause. Okay, violating regulations. Okay, the ticket carries a possible fine of $250,000. For people preaching to God and listening to the Word of God. That's what these people are getting now. The only hope you have in the world right now is to get in touch with the main man upstairs, and now you're getting huge ass fines that are going to cripple you. Who can afford a $250,000 fine or 6 months in jail right now?
From disobeying government's will.
Yeah, well, I think what we see with our city councilors and our mayor and others in government is that they don't really understand Christian convictions. They don't really understand that this is a matter of obedience to God and obedience to the Lord Jesus Christ. And so no amount of fine, no amount of jail time is going to discourage people as they come together to worship. And so...
when can we get rid of Trudeau? We're not sure yet, because he suspended... Well, I don't even know if he suspended, but they just suspended the election. So we have no idea when the elections are coming, if they're coming at all. That's the thing. If they're coming at all.
It's strange that they would, almost in a sense, lecture Christians about how they ought to behave and how they ought to worship. I think there's a real misunderstanding on their part. Christ is king, and so we're here to worship him, and he is above every other authority. What Jesus taught is that it profits nothing if you were to gain the whole world. So you had all this power, you have all this money, all the status in the world. If you had that, but if you lost your soul, you have nothing. There's nothing more important to you than your own soul. And what we're doing as a church is proclaiming that message of Jesus, because forgiveness with God, peace with him, to be reconciled with him, there is nothing more important than doing that. And for people to believe that, for society to believe that, promote that, when the church is free to promote the good news of Jesus, it will lead to freedom in the entire society. When you look at a society and there is a free church, there will be a free people. And that's because whenever you don't have Jesus and his salvation, rightly understanding him, you're going to need more and more police, because inside of our hearts is sin. And we are not good people. And so unless we have the Lord Jesus who is leading us, unless we have his Holy Spirit within us, sin is just going to take course, and we just need more and more police, more and more government control to try to subdue a people. But when we're self-governed, according to the principles laid down in Scripture, we have a free society. Free for Christian, free for non-Christian. And that's what we've seen, and that's what we've seen that is going away in our society, as it's not just the church, it's our entire society that is coming under the grips of more and more tyranny, especially medical tyranny in this day and age.
Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more exclusive Rebel content.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? So, hey, come on, guys. You get to fly into Canada, $2,000. You get free, touchy-feely time. You get 4 fresh air breaks. You get great food. You're locked in with barbed wired fence. They collect your DNA. And after all that's done, and if you make it past that, you could go to... No, you can't. You can't go to church. Sorry. No, you can't go to church. So if you make it through the gates, you can't go to church. Sorry. We live in a great world. A wonderful world. A wonderful world we live in. Man, you know how much you have to pay to get groped nowadays? Alright, Lori. You said you have... Is that the same time, church? Yeah, it's the same. Alright, Lori. Go ahead, post your link. Let's see what you got. This is not who we are as Canadians. Absolutely. Alright. So while Lori gets that up, I'm going to play this here. Here, let's check this out. So let's bring this up here. Now Canada's getting bad, but don't think for 2 seconds, guys. Don't think for 2 seconds that Biden and Kamala Harris is not going to pull this shit. They're going to try to pull this. Whether or not they're going to be successful or not, that's another story. I'm not even talking about that part. But are they going to try to pull this kind of shit on you? 100% they're going to do it. 100% they're going to. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Be prepared.
We can protect Canadians from COVID-19 without subjecting them to this type of deplorable and un-Canadian treatment. This is not who we are as Canadians. We can protect Canada from an influx of new cases by using the tools already at our disposal, pre- and post-arrival testing and at-home quarantine. This mandatory hotel program has been bungled and needs to be ended now.
Needs to be.
The federal quarantine hotel program is proving ineffective. Over the last week, horrifying reports of sexual assault, unsafe and deplorable conditions at federal quarantine hotel facilities have emerged. Conservatives were the first to call for the Liberals to enact border measures to secure our country from the threat of COVID-19. At that time, over a year ago, the Liberal government instead said that border measures would make things worse or not work at all. If they would have acted more quickly at the beginning, Canada would have been better positioned to fight the pandemic.
Now, on that note, she is an MP, Conservative Party. Now, on that note, they're saying here in Canada, we already had the first wave, second wave, we got a third wave coming, and it's that variant. And it doesn't matter what we're doing right now, it just seems to be taking hold of people and running rampant. So, are we looking at another lockdown? 100%. Are we looking at more restrictions? 100%. Do we have the vaccine? No. And now they're saying that if not 98% of the population has the vaccine, it's not going to matter. There's I think they said something like 40%, 40 or 50%, not even, it was like 48% of the population said they would take it. The rest said, hell no. Crazy.
A year later, the Liberals instituted a federal hotel quarantine requirement for those entering Canada. We have heard reports that it is taking hours to get through to book these hotels, dietary restrictions are not being met, and food and water is not always readily available. That's in addition to this program continuing after reports of sexual assault. This is mind-boggling. There are other reasons this program is a failure. Government officials were unable to answer the Health Committee what data shows that this hotel requirement was better for public health outcomes than safely quarantining at home. We are also concerned that the haphazard patchwork of exemptions and the lack of consideration for essential and compassionate travelers has left some people stranded.
1187, there you go.
Now is not the time for leisure travel, but we do know that there are still people who will travel for essential purposes. Time for the Liberals to permanently end this program. Instead of this bungled, mismanaged program, we urge the government to scrap it and replace it with a more effective system of enhanced pre- and post-arrival testing for international travelers and better and safer enforcement of the at-home quarantine. We can protect Canadians from COVID-19 without subjecting them to this type of deplorable and un-Canadian treatment. This is not who we are as Canadians. We can protect Canada from an influx of new cases by using the tools already at our disposal, pre- and post-arrival testing and at-home quarantine. This mandatory hotel program has been bungled and needs to be ended now.
Craziness. misunderstood. I think it's my other channel that you're a member of. If I'm not mistaken, I think you're a member on my other channel. This is not my main channel. My other channel got taken down because I don't even want to say it. I just got to take it down. Still hurting. Still at the sting. Yeah. So, Lori, yeah, did you post a link, Lori, that I didn't see? Yes, I got it. I got it. All right. So here, let's pull this up. Stacey, we are at war with the GOP attending. Okay. Oh. All right. Let's put this up here. Let's put this up. We are at war with the GOP attempting to deny access to the ballots. Ooh. Voting Rights Act at center of Supreme Court hearing tomorrow. What is this? Failed. So just for the record, this does not reflect my opinion or anybody else of this channel. Failed Georgia candidate Stacey Adams said Monday at CNN Anderson Cooper 360 that Democrats were at war with the state Republicans lawmakers for awarding the bill addressed voting and members of Congress who do not support the Democrat voting legislation. What? That's crazy. Now I don't know if I should play this now. Wayne was acting like a pissy old man yesterday. You better watch your mouth there, blind dude, or you won't see it coming. This is for education. This is for educational purposes only, and nor does it reflect my opinion or anybody of this channel or anybody in the chat. All right, let's see what happens.
Prime documentary, All In, the Fight for Democracy. Representative Abrams, thanks for being with us. So you hear the former president, you see what's happening in your home state. How do you combat that?
We combat it first by making certain that Americans are aware of what's at stake. In the United States, we have a decentralized form of democracy where Congress has the right to set the time, manner, and place of federal elections, but we delegate to the states the authority to determine when, how, and who gets to vote. And the challenge we have in America is that right now, we do not have uniformity. Your place of residence determines the quality of your democracy, which should not stand in the United States of America. And we are seeing it play out in the most grotesque way possible because across the country, and as you pointed out, more than 40 legislative bodies, we are watching attempts to roll back the right to vote because, to put it simply, Republicans believe that too many people voted. They believe that too many eligible voters chose other than their candidates, and because of that, they're going to be punished by being denied the right to vote or being prevented from participating in our elections.
Now, I'm going to stop it there for two reasons. One, I don't want to really talk about the election and the votings and stuff like that because we all know how that came out. YouTube right now is really, really sensitive about this kind of stuff. So far, nothing has been said wrong, but I can see it leading up to something, and I just don't want to take the risk of this channel going down before I get the other one back, or else I'll be taking a week vacation with no streaming. So, with that being said, I'm going to post a link so that if you want to take a look at it, feel free to do so. Here you go. I can't stand her. Why do you think that is? I don't know. I don't know why YouTube's doing that. I have no idea. No opinion on why YouTube runs their things. Except for I know they have a thing that's this big in their ads that said they do not want to talk about the votes and stuff like that. All right. This bill is so that they can... I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. All right, let's check out what's going on in the States right now. So what's going on there? Won't publish over racist imagery. 6 Dr. Seuss books won't published over racist imagery. What? Are you kidding me?
will no longer be published because of what's described as racist and insensitive imagery. The business group that protects Dr. Seuss's legacy says that move is to make sure his catalog represents and supports all communities and families. Carly Shimkus is here to give us the lowdown. We all woke up to this morning, Carly. What's the
Wow, yeah, well, today is Dr. Seuss's birthday, but rather than celebrate, some of his iconic children's books are quite literally being canceled.
Wow. Dr. Seuss, me and him have something in common. We both work to have something go and get taken away on our birthday. Huh? I lost Watch with Wayne on my birthday. This guy, he's dead, and they take his books away on his birthday. Man, talk about having something in common with somebody famous. I'll get back into that there.
Dr. Seuss Enterprises announcing that it will cease publication of 6 of the late author's books due to racially insensitive illustrations. They include And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo. The company telling the Associated Press that they portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong, and ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises catalog represents and supports all communities and families. Now, for over 20 years, the iconic author's birthday is celebrated in schools as Read Across America Day. President Biden marking the occasion yesterday with a presidential proclamation, but did not mention Dr. Seuss by name amid growing criticism. But the author was celebrated by former President Obama, who read Green Eggs and Ham to children during the 2010 White House Easter egg roll. That same year, former First Lady Michelle Obama read The Cat in the Hat to a group of children as well. Now, anger over Dr. Seuss's drawings has grown over the years. A 2019 St. Catherine University study found 2% of Dr. Seuss's human drawings are characters of color, and they are typically presented in a subservient or dehumanized role. Now, The Cat in the Hat has also faced backlash over accusations it's based on minstrel.
Okay, so moral of the story: if you have a book that you want to have, publish or anything, make sure that the people that are being diminished or made to look like shit in any way, shape, or form, make sure it's a white person so that nobody bats an eye at it. Okay. Just make sure that if you write a story, make a book, or do a movie, or anything like that at all, if it's some guy that's a drunk, fall down fool, make sure that it's a white person, okay? So that way nobody just kind of like, ha ha ha, yeah, and then because we can't have it being black people or people of color anymore, because that's just wrong, okay? So all these movie roles that are going to come up, where there's going to be, like, I can't even say what I wanted to say. I'm just going to shut up and we're going to watch the rest of this before I say something that is completely truthful.
Stereotypes. Virginia's Loudoun County Public Schools making news this week by encouraging teachers to distance Read Across America Day from Dr. Seuss, even though it is, guys, his birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you, Carly. Carly Shimkus in studio.
Wow. All right, so I just want to say thank you to the Doggone Bag, RH, and Uphill for your support tonight. Thank you very much. And we got 140 people in the chat right now. Thank you very much for being here on YouTube. The people that are on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, thank you guys very much for being there as well. I really do appreciate each and every one of you supporting me on all these platforms tonight. So I really appreciate that. All right, so let's look at let's look at something here. Wayne, check mail. All right, I'll check the mail. Stop yelling at me. Yes, here we go on the Wayne Show. All right, check my mail. Dr. Seuss. Oh, here we go. What is this? Finally, Dr. Seuss for seniors. Solid, liquid, or gas. What will come out of my... Okay, I can't show it on the screen, but I'm going to just read it. It's finally a Dr. Seuss for seniors. Okay? solid, liquid, or gas, what will come out of my... And it's a great title. It's a great title. All right, let's get that off the screen before I accidentally show it and get in trouble. All right, let's do that. Let's do this. What else is going on in the States right now? I apparently failed because I said no. Oh, there you go. You put up with us, Wayne. No, you guys put up with me, especially with my rants and my raving and all that other stuff. I want to say thanks to Wolf Light over on Twitch there. Thank you guys very much for being here. Wolf, thanks for keeping people over there entertained, and for my lack of ability to be able to go through all the chats is crazy. Now I know why people have more than one people in the studios whenever they're streaming and stuff. It's just too hard. Alright, let's see. Want to squash all politicians. Okay, the memory of Dr. Seuss matters more. Implement elites are ruining kids' lives. Okay, here, this is the one right here I wanted. Kids emotional, addressing. Okay, yes, right here.
Fast, but it's our job. Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Things change fast, but it's our job to keep track. It wasn't so long ago that our taste-making class had decided that Andrew Cuomo of New York was the single greatest governor in American history. Reporters who covered him didn't so much ask Cuomo questions, they swooned blushing in his presence. People who passed out Emmys gave Andrew Cuomo an award just for holding press conferences. Over on CNN, Jeff Zucker handed the governor a recurring spot on his little brother's TV show. Yes, Andrew Cuomo is quite a bit taller than Chris Cuomo. For a moment there, Andrew Cuomo was the man, they told us. He was a steely mixture of Abraham Lincoln and Paulie Walnuts. He was just what America needed in crisis. In case you think we're overstating the magnitude of the hype around Andrew Cuomo, if you have a minute, look up the exchange from last May between Robert De Niro and Stephen Colbert, two formerly talented entertainers who've been warped beyond recognition by partisan bitterness. Watch as they wax pornographic about the awesomeness, the singular awesomeness of Andrew Cuomo. At one point, Colbert loses all control and describes Cuomo as the leader, quote, the world deserves. Wow. Andrew Cuomo, governor of the world. It's hilarious. At this point, it's painful to watch, though, because no one seems to like Andrew Cuomo anymore. He's been Me Too'd for saying naughty things to women. Even Andrew Cuomo's former friends are treating him like Harvey Weinstein. Cuomo was hired, in fact, one of Weinstein's defense lawyers. At this point, it's hard to imagine that Andrew Cuomo will be governor of New York for much longer. No one who knows Andrew Cuomo could be shocked by any of this. For more than a decade, Cuomo has been an awful governor of New York for reasons that have nothing to do with sexual harassment, though that's bad too. 3 years ago, Cuomo's closest aide, someone he described as like a brother, went to federal prison for 6 years for bribery. Last year, Cuomo famously caused the lonely deaths of thousands of elderly New Yorkers locked away in nursing homes. So from day one, Andrew Cuomo has been a disaster for the state of New York, and yet the Democratic establishment has relentlessly defended him. Why have they done this? Well, because he helped them maintain what they want most of all, and that is power. Nothing has made elected Democrats more powerful than the COVID pandemic. Wow. They began as politicians, lockdowns made them God. Andrew Cuomo understood the power of COVID immediately. As early as last April, Cuomo declared that Corona law would last forever. I don't think we get back to normal, he said. I think we get to a new normal.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, there was no vaccine for the coronavirus, so many people reluctantly accepted Cuomo's prediction. Okay, a new normal. But 11 months later, we have multiple coronavirus vaccines. Infection rates are falling along with deaths. And yet the message from the Democratic establishment has not changed. Your life is never going back to normal. We aren't surrendering our power over you or your children. It's permanent. Now, the media, rather than question this, amplify the message, and they do it for their own reasons. When Democratic politicians become more powerful, so do their spokesmen in the news media. Stop expecting life to go back to normal next year, read a New York Times piece from September. A month later, the paper ran a story with this headline: the first COVID vaccine will not make life normal again. Now, not everyone believed that, of course, because it's ridiculous. The whole point of the vaccine was to bring life back to normal. But the fact that people might live normal lives deeply bothers the New York Times. Go to their website today and you will find this, quote, COVID-19, the U.S. is edging toward normal, alarming some officials. Yes, some officials are alarmed you might be able to go outside without getting their approval first. They're worried your kids might get an education. You'll notice the Times interviewed officials rather than parents. If the New York Times had talked to parents, here's what they might have heard.
This is the second largest school district in the country. They need to figure it out. They're out of time. Science, facts, all states that these kids need to be in school.
These kids are in mental distress. They have to go back to school.
You can't take one more day of forcing them to sit in front of Zoom when they're not learning and they're hating school and they're depressed, they're dejected, their grades are falling, they're regressing. It's disgusting.
We're fighting for our rights to go back to school because science says that it's safe and the UTLA won't let us.
Ooh, smart kid.
Kids are depressed and dejected and they are regressing. That's the word from a mother in Los Angeles. People who've paid attention have known that for a long time, knew it was happening. But a new analysis by Fair Health shows just how destructive the
Morris,
lockdowns
you got an
have
advertisement
been.
on my channel?
Worse than you thought. Now, the survey didn't rely
somewhere
on
else.
questions they asked people. Instead, it looked at the data, billions of healthcare records and insurance claims. And here's the top-line conclusion of the study. Quote, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on mental health, particularly that of young people.
Yeah.
School closures, having to learn remotely, and isolating from friends due to social distancing have been sources of stress and loneliness. Well, that's bad. How bad is it? Here's how bad it is. Among children aged 13 to 18, teenagers, insurance claims for intentional self-harm were up 90% in March of 2020 compared to the previous year. The next month, in April, self-harm cases rose by nearly 100%. Claims for medical help related to drug overdoses went up 95% in March and then to 113% in April. And those numbers remained elevated through the fall. Why? Why was this happening? Mental illness caused by coronavirus lockdowns. Quote,
oh, in the mail.
for the age group 13 to 18 in April 2020, insurance claims for generalized anxiety disorder increased 93.6% as a percentage of all medical claims. In April of 2019, major depressive disorder claims increased 83.9% and adjustment disorder claims by 89.7%, end quote. Thanks to the coronavirus lockdowns, children are 10 times more likely to die from suicide than from the coronavirus they're meant to be protected from. So that is the new normal that Andrew Cuomo and the New York Times are working to make permanent in this country. And if the teachers' unions have their way, your child may die of a drug OD before going back to school. And if you complain about that, you're a white supremacist. That was the explicit message yesterday from the president of Los Angeles Teachers Union. Watch.
Some voices are being allowed to speak louder than others. We have to call out the privilege behind the largely white, wealthy parents driving the push for a rushed return. Their experience of this pandemic is not our students' families' experiences.
So the woman you just heard is called Cecily Maillard Cruz. The first thing you'll find in her official biography is the fact that she is, quote, the first woman of color in the union's 50-year history. So Cecily Maillard Cruz believes her skin color is a job qualification somehow, maybe the most important one she has.
That's what I'm talking
Why
about.
is she
right
saying
there.
this? She's hoping you won't notice that she's incompetent or that her positions don't make any sense at all. Cecily Maillard Cruz is telling us that poor families benefit most from closing public schools, but of course the opposite is true. Poor families need their kids back in school more than anyone does because they don't have alternatives. Most of the, quote, white wealthy parents she is attacking don't use the public schools precisely because they don't want their kids anywhere near lazy mediocrities like Cecily Maillard Cruz. Parents with privilege have options and they run away. Now, who are these privileged people we're talking about? Well, they're people like Matt Meyer, the head of the Berkeley Teachers Union. Meyer would tell you if you talk to him that he's a progressive. Like so many other pasty middle-aged trustafarians, he's got earrings and blonde dreadlocks. But the truth is, Matt Meyer doesn't want his daughter around Cecily Maillard Cruz either, at all. So he sends her to private school. And we know this not because the New York Times did an expose on it, though maybe they should, given that Matt Meyer is the personification of the white privilege they're so worried about. No, we know this instead because an anonymous group of parents called Gorilla Moms photographed Matt Meyer dropping his child off at private school. Here's that same Matt Meyer back in January insisting that your children can't go back to school because they can't be trusted to keep their masks on.
Real-life children do not keep their masks on. They do not keep distance from each other or their teachers. Given the realities of working with real children in person, we need to account for the inevitable lapses in risk mitigation practices by choosing a standard of lower transmission for reopening.
Risk mitigation, blah, blah, blah. What Meyer doesn't mention is that there is virtually no risk to anyone of sending children back to school, and there never has been. The science couldn't be clearer. And that's why, when he doesn't think you're watching, Matt Meyer makes certain his own child gets the in-person instruction she needs. He doesn't want her growing up to be a drug addict like your kids.
That is crazy. That is crazy. That's exactly what I was talking about a while ago. Crazy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I got no words for that. No words for that one. That is wild. Schools cost a lot in tax money. Yeah. Well, we're all supposed to still pay for taxes, right? Chris Como by his latest covert plan as okay, the 5. Okay, here we go. Check this out.
Hello everyone, I'm Juan Williams, along with Greg Gutfeld, Dana Perino, Jesse Waters, and Katie Pavlich. It's 5 o'clock in New York City. This is The Five.
About 3 weeks ago, we were able to say that we'll have enough vaccine supply for adults by the end of July. And I'm pleased to announce today, as a consequence of the stepped-up process that I've ordered and just outlined, this country will have enough vaccine supply, I'll say it again, for every adult in America by the end of May.
President Biden making that big announcement about when adult Americans will be able to get the vaccine. The president also setting a date for when he wants teachers to start receiving the shots. Watch this.
We want every educator, school staff member, child care worker to receive at least one shot by the end of the month of March. To help make this happen, starting next week and for the month of March, we'll be using our federal pharmacy program to prioritize the vaccination of pre-K through 12 educators and staff and child care workers.
All that news coming while there is a troubling cost to schools being shut down. A new report says the demand for mental health care for teens is skyrocketing.
Yeah, thank 334%. Guys, this is... I got no words for this shit. No words for this at all. If you do not keep care of yourself and your family and your loved ones and are not prepared for what's coming, listen, you do not have to believe me. You do not have to take what I'm saying. Just hear me. Be prepared. Buy extra food. Buy water. Buy the necessities that you're going to need. It's not like you're not going to use them. You're going to use them. So if you have the means to be able to buy more and store more, do it. Do it. If you can, do it. If you can't, then that's fine as well. But I'm just saying, if you have the means to do it, do it. Don't get caught off guard. This is going to get bad.
Cases of intentional self-harm spiking 334% in August 2020 compared to the previous year. And from April 2019 to 2020, drug overdoses jumped over 119%, anxiety rising 94%, depression increasing 84%. And take a look at this headline. Thousands of students reported missing from school systems nationwide amid COVID-19 pandemic. States around the country are reporting a big decline in the number of students enrolled in public schools. Dana, let me begin with you. It seems to me to be huge news. The president I think, giving us all some reason for hope here by saying that he wants teachers and child care workers to get at least one shot by the end of March. What do you think?
Well, okay, I actually find this a little bit outrageous. I think I want everyone to get a vaccine. And we are on track as a country to get that done. And look, let's credit both presidents and put that to the side, okay? That's great. This school thing is actually quite outrageous because most of the money in this COVID relief bill does not go to the schools this year. In fact, one of the things that President Biden said is he wants to pass his rescue plan and that I have given those schools a roadmap. I've asked Congress to give them the tools, but the money doesn't even go to them. Not only that, the CDC has said, until they weren't pressured, that kids could be in school right now. And holding kids hostage in order to get your bloated COVID relief plan through seems to me to be really outrageous. And I think there's another reason this is happening. The White House knows this bill is starting to fall apart. The support for it is starting to fall apart. President Biden needs all 50 Democrats, because he's not going to get any Republicans, I don't think. It's all those Democrats. You saw today the Chamber of Commerce, which had been quite supportive, now starting to say, whoa, wait, are you sure about this? There's too much money in here. But when it comes to the schools, none of us can get back to normal if we don't have the kids back in school. You think of how many women have had to leave the workforce because they have to be the ones, and rightly so, like God bless them. They're home trying to take care of the kids. What does that do to their career track? What are we going to do for them? Well, the only thing that we can do for them is get the kids back in school, which we know that they can do safely. I'm for them getting the teachers to get a vaccine, but look at one of the counties, I think, there in Virginia. Even when they were told the teachers would get the vaccine, they wouldn't commit to coming back to the classroom because then they wanted to move the goalposts and say, well, then the children had to be vaccinated. And yet there's no reports of transmission from kids to teachers. When in a lot of places around the country, kids are in school, but a majority of them aren't. And just my last point here is, do you remember last week when Kennedy was on the show and she got emotional talking about this issue of the mental health problems, especially for teenagers. And some of those numbers, if you look a little bit more deeply, it's especially that middle teen year, those junior high, middle school years. Those are the worst, hardest years for any human when they're growing up. And adding this is just insult to injury, and I think holding them hostage in order to get this COVID relief bill done is quite outrageous.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. The government and the people, especially Biden and Kamala Harris, are using kids as like basically a bargaining tool. Is that what they're saying? I can't see Biden being like that with children. Doesn't he love children? Just saying. That's what I thought. I thought he loved children. So why would he be doing that kind of shit? Alright, let me just get this up here so I can get this other thing. I don't stand behind children but in front of them. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Power. Okay, hold on. Where is this? Maybe it was on. I'm trying to see where I seen that post. No, I can't. Of course, now I want to find it. Now I'm not going to be able to. Let me just pull this up here. Yeah. Shit. Alright. Let's check the inbox over here. Never give up. Never, ever give up. Head up. Oh, yeah. So did we find out if this was true or not? I wanted to find out if this was true. Michigan National Guard troops in D.C. Hospitalized after Democrat-run cities repeatedly fed them raw, uncooked meat and meals with metal shavings. I don't know if this is real or not. This is right here. Troops face problems with food. Let me bring that up. It's National Guard Staff Sergeant protecting U.S. capitals exposed serious issues. So undercooked chicken and there was metal shavings in them. So I guess it was true. The guard troops are being kept in D.C. because the Democrats in the total control of the federal and local government fear reprise a strong of capital. Oh my God, they're still crying about that friggin' shit. Get over it. Get over it. Okay, so this just shit is just crazy. Okay, so that got taken down. That other video I was going to show you has got taken down. Okay, hold on. Oh, who did this? Oh, Ruby sent me a watch with Wayne GIF. That's pretty friggin' cool of you. Thank you. I'm putting that over there. That's pretty freaking cool. So Ruby just sent this in to me. I'm gonna open this up. Photos. I don't know if she made this or what, but kind of cool. Facebook Live, Twitch, and watch Wayne Live. That's pretty cool. I'll fight with that. There's South Carolina reinstate the fire squad. Wow. Yeah. Wait, hold on a minute. Lori, what? Wayne Live. South Carolina reinstated the firing squad. What? That's crazy. Oh, okay, you know what I can... Oh, wait a second. I know why. Sorry, Ruby. Here, I can help you with a free animation, web banner, a logo, that ever I can do to help. Also do websites. I love your show. Let me know what I can do to keep talking. Thanks, Ruby. Now, that is absolutely awesome that you made those. First of all, those are great. And yeah, I'm going to message you because that is absolutely awesome. Alright, yeah, why would they reinstate the firing squad? I have to ask that. Why would they do that? Well, I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Where did I see... Man, I seen that. I seen that somewhere. Where did I see that? Shit. Where was that? Okay, hold on. It was the border. End state mask mandate. Texas governor ends state mask mandate. Wow, there you go. Blaster and Dr. Zeus. I don't. Huh. Okay, here we go. This is the one.
Meanwhile, let's bring in Fox News contributor, retired acting ICE director Tom Homan. Tom, do you blame Trump for the problems at the border?
No, I don't. And let me address the statement made by Secretary Mayorkas that there's not a crisis. That's very disturbing because when he was deputy secretary in 2015 and Jay Johnson was secretary, I met with them numerous times a week to talk about the border crossing, how many are crossing, how many are being detained, how many are being ordered removed. And the threshold we set at the time, Brian, was 1,000. 1,000 crossings a day was a bad day, it was a crisis. And now we're dealing with 4,000 a day, 4 times what he considered a crisis back in 2015. He is not being truthful to the American people. There is certainly a crisis on the border that is manufactured and was created by the Biden administration because of their promises that they made and the enticements they made to the people.
4,000 unaccompanied minors are now in our country. That's a 19% increase year to year. They have eliminated the war building, stopped the Remain in Mexico policy, where 71,000 Central and South Americans are sitting there waiting. I guess they're going to end up here. Plus, they pushed their legalizing the Dreamers and bringing back in deported illegals, which is stunning, along with a 100-day pause on deportations that that Texas finally went to court to pull. Of course there's going to be a crisis. They actually scripted this crisis.
And it's not by accident, it's by design. You don't have to be a border expert to realize when you make those type of promises, and on top of that, Brian, we're going to give you free health care, when you make those type of promises, they're going to come. And they knew when they said these things, it was going to cause a border crisis. They have folded to the progressive left. And it's just incredible. He made a statement yesterday that President Trump gutted the system. Are you serious? He, as a Secretary of Homeland Security, he has more immigration judges, he has more agents, he has more border technology, he had agreements that no other president was able to get. If anybody's gutted the system, it's they gutted the system the last 4 weeks, and we see what happened. We went from historic lows to a crisis unprecedented. That is what they have done.
It's not a lack of compassion. The message we send here forces these triangle countries to send people in on the hope that they're getting in, on the promise that they'll get through, instead of going through the system that allows perhaps more refugees in a revamped immigration reform. But I want to bring you to 2 more topics before I have to let you go. The DHS Secretary Mayorkas said yesterday that loving parents send their kids alone thousands of miles through Central America, through Mexico, crazy. And we're not going to be expelling them. We're not going to apprehend a 9-year-old who came here alone, who traversed Mexico, whose loving parents, sent them here alone. Well, if we don't send them back, tens of thousands will come after them. We cannot digest entire countries, can we?
No.
No, we can't. And look, it's inhumane to put your children in the arms of criminal cartels. You and I talked about one of the times I testified, I lost my temper with a congressman that said I didn't care about dying children. I've held many dying children. I was in the back of a tractor trailer where a 5-year-old little boy is suffocated to death in his father's arms. Don't tell me this is compassion. Putting your children in the hands of criminal cartels is inhumane, it's dangerous, and it's just bad. So I've seen it. And I can't believe that statement was even made.
It was. Kristen Fisher asked this question yesterday at the White House briefing. The president of Mexico is going to propose an idea to bring an immigrant labor force of 600 to 800,000 immigrants a year to work legally in the United States. Is that something we should consider? The answer from Jen Psaki, I've seen those reports.
This is crazy.
I believe that's a step that will require Congress. Should Congress greenlight this?
Absolutely not. Congress needs to secure our border and enforce the laws that they wrote and they enacted that was signed by President. And look, last year, Mexico received $40 billion in remittances from people.
$40 billion Mexico received. $40 billion.
People here working in the United States illegally sent money back to Mexico. $40 billion in a year of pandemic. So of course the Mexican president wants to send more people here because he don't have to take care of them. He don't have to provide social services. He doesn't have to train them. Send them to the United States and send us back even more than $40 billion. This is a win-win for Mexico. Bad for the United States, bad for the American worker.
Tom, what did they say? These are jobs that Americans don't want to work. What do you say?
Bullshit.
That's just untrue. That's untrue. I've done many investigations in worksite operations where we've hit work sites where these jobs are good-paying jobs. Now, some are low-paying jobs. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of jobs that middle-class Americans would love to have right now during this time of unemployment.
Right. Plus, when we get in trouble getting off an airplane, and we had to report in quarantine. We're letting thousands of people in who aren't socially distanced, who don't travel with rapid tests. It's just not logical. It's no compassion involved in this. Tom Homan, thanks so much.
So freaking scary. That is scary, man. You know, they're talking. They literally trashed Trump for having kids in the in those facilities. Now look at it's gonna get so bad. Wow. I can't believe it. Wow. I'm at a loss for words right now. Memory of Dr. Seuss. Okay, Democrats want to squash all politicians. Yes. Okay, so here. I want to hear this.
District dropping Dr. Seuss books as part of the annual Read Across America Day over what they say are insensitive portrayals of people of color. Spokesman says in part, research in recent years has revealed strong racial undertones in many books written and illustrated by Dr. Seuss. We want to encourage our young people to read all types of books that are inclusive and diverse and reflective of our student community, not simply celebrate Dr. Seuss. Well,
I hope
Dr.
so,
Seuss
Brad.
helped a lot of people
I hope
read.
so.
Tyrus is here, Fox Nation host and a Fox News contributor. How you doing, my friend? From New Orleans. What do you think of this move?
Morning, America's Newsroom. Dana, I do not like the treatment of Dr. Seuss. I don't like it in a house with a mouse. I don't like it with a box with a fox. I don't like it here or there. Bill Hemmer, I don't like this anywhere. They need to get off the hypocritical beaches. Have you not heard of the book about the Sneetches? I mean, come on. Literally 1961, he had 4 books that came out about diversity, understanding each other, and compromise. What more do you need?
One thing that I think is kind of interesting about, well, by the way, excellent rhyming, and
Very well done.
Yeah, here's the thing. They're going to stop selling 6 of the books. Now, the problem is apparently the illustrations. Yeah, here's the thing.
I want to see what that flash was.
Very well done.
Yeah, here's the thing.
What is that flash? I can't get it to. There it is. There it is. $2 billion for PPE, ventilation spacing. Okay. $4.6 billion for summer school, tutoring, mental health and services, other learning opportunities. Calvert Governor's Office. Wow. California school reopening agreement. Huh. Cool. I was wondering what that was that flashed up. Sorry, guys.
The thing. They're going to stop selling 6 of the books. Now, the problem is apparently the illustrations. So why don't they just redraw?
The illustrations?
That's what they say.
I don't have one friend, and I have friends all over the world that look remotely like anyone in any of the shows. Or maybe my kid's hair after they get out of the bath. But other than that, it's ridiculous. I mean, we're looking for mistakes where there's not mistakes. Dr. Seuss is a great way to read, and they talk about things and we learn about things. I read the book, The Sneetches, one time, and I knew what it was about to be different and respecting each other. Just read the book, The Sneetches. Literally, as fast as I can tell you. They had blue stars, the other ones didn't. The ones with blue stars thought they were better, so the other ones ran out and got their own stars. Then they mixed and matched, and then eventually couldn't tell each other apart, and they realized they were all pretty much the same, even when they looked different on the outside. Sneetches.
You read that one time? I'm impressed.
One time.
Oh, the places you will go. There's a story out of Boston Public Schools about advanced work classes for 4th through 6th graders due to racial equity. What's the deal here, Tyrus?
Okay, as a former teacher, first of all, I never was a big fan of standardized testing, but when you look at testing, you have to look at, is it in line with the curriculum of the school? You have to look at, when are the kids starting school? Do they have Head Start programs? Are they starting at pre-K? Are they going into kindergarten? There's a lot of what have yous and whatnots whenever you're dealing with standardized testing. You always want to, and then the first thing they do is they say racial inequality, because that means you can't fix it. But if you look at the group, I think it was roughly 500 kids that had passed the test or excelled to go into the next level classes, and then they have what they call...
Look at this. I know you guys can't see it here. Let me fix that here. Look at this. So, RPT, Boston pauses ADV classes over equality worries. Really? Really? That is so stupid.
The lottery. I guess you could look at who's making those choices in the lottery and the number of diverse kids that are in there to see if there's anything that's out of skew or off. But the bottom line is, whenever you're dealing with testing, there's going to be stereotypical questions that might confuse kids, but they're small. When it comes down to it, math is math, spelling is spelling, and we should be able to do that at a high level. But again, whenever we put the racial thing on it, it's like saying we can't fix it. And we need to really start looking at what we're doing in our early learning, what funding is going in there. We need to finally get our kids up to speed, opposed to punishing the ones who are excelling.
Yeah, we talk a lot about colleges, K through free college.
I know what I
and
said,
look,
but that's what I
maybe-
meant was
maybe
equity.
Free community college would make sense at some place.
Because I was going to say right after this, everything is about everything. Everything is all money, money, money. Money, money, money.
But at some point, we
Yes, I know. I know what I said, but I was because I was reading something else, which is going to be the next thing I bring up is about money, and then it was follow up with this. That's why I mixed the two up.
got to talk about K through 12. We need to do better by the children and by the teachers, by the parents, and also we're in a competitive world, Tyrus. These kids are going to have to compete against a lot of people in the world.
That's exactly
Who value
exactly
education
right
a little
there. It's
higher
greedy
than our
union.
society does right now. And the pandemic, we have seen a drop off across the board because it's not just, you can't just put your child in front of the computer and say figure it out. Parents have to reinvest at a young age. You got to spend less time on your phone and more time sitting down going over spelling words and math. You can't just put them in front of the computer and then give them their phone and have the phone give them the answers to give to the computer. We have to reinvest in our kids, and it starts at home.
It does. I love spelling tests so much. Those were my favorite.
I know that you do.
Thanks, Tyrus.
That is crazy. Now, going back to what I was saying right there, the unions. Okay, Lawrence gets emotional over address. Okay, right here.
Good evening and welcome to Fox.
Where was that? Emotional addressing effects of online. Okay, yes, right here. This is all. It's all money. All money. Look at this.
Fox News Primetime, I'm Lawrence Jones, and tonight we are reimagining education. Joe Biden's Secretary of Education, Richard Cardona, was confirmed this week with a 64-33 vote. Who is Richard Cardona? Now, his nomination flew under the radar, so I don't blame you if you happen to miss him say this back in December.
Brad, that nice.
We must embrace the opportunity to reimagine education and build it back better.
Did he just say that? Did he literally just say what I heard? Lori, tell me you heard that. Guys, tell me you heard that. That saying is going to plague wow.
Build it back better. We must evolve it to meet the needs of our students.
Reimagine education. Now, on paper, it sounds good. After all, the American education system was failing millions of students long before COVID took place. A little creativity and imagination would probably be pretty good. But do you remember what reimagination means to the teachers union?
Same propaganda,
there
different
really
puppet.
is so much that I
So
feel
true.
I can do virtually, but perhaps the focus right now should be on reimagining what education looks like in the future.
If you prioritize safety, we can figure out how to reimagine education.
Thanks, Seven.
If the future of education is virtual, we don't need to imagine what the impact will be on our
100% they're
children.
following a script.
We can see it right now in households all over America.
Give me 1 sec, guys. I just gotta
Our
get some
kids
clean
are
air.
struggling in silence while the union scream to keep the schools closed. The left likes to throw around phrases like social justice, equity. They say Black Lives Matter. Who do you think this hurts the most? That's right, black and brown kids. That's who. 1/3 of black households don't have internet access. How are those kids supposed to learn virtually? I'll tell you how. They don't. A study of Ohio students found that black kids were chronically absent 16% more this year than in 2019. How will they make those days up? How will they close the gap? The reality is, many won't. The fact is, this lost year doesn't end when the lockdowns are lifted. Our children's study gap isn't just gonna go away. It's gonna get worse. It will snowball for decades. A Stanford study estimates that children who miss out on schooling because of the pandemic could end up earning 6 to 9% less over the course of their careers. And if I seem angry or upset by this, please understand why. I see myself in those stats. I grew up in Garland, Texas, a town outside of Dallas where 70% of the students were eligible for free or reduced lunch. I'm the oldest of 3, and my mom and dad both worked hard. Sometimes they had to work late, and a principal or a basketball coach would have to drive me home from school. They did everything that they could to give us a better life, and I am grateful for them every day. But I wonder, what would have happened to our family if I was a kid now? What if the pandemic cost my parents their jobs? Or better yet, what if they had to keep working? Who would have overseen my schooling? Who would have shouldered the burden of making sure my brother and my sister were in front of a computer and paying attention?
This is crazy. This is crazy.
That would have been on me. The truth of the matter is, I don't know if I would be here, sitting in this seat, talking to you right now as if that pandemic would have hit when I was a little boy.
Could you imagine?
Think about it. We won't know the true impact of these lockdowns for decades. But we do know that our kids are hurting right now. They're desperate to return in the classroom to some kind of normalcy. There are kids here in New York who are willing to travel 3 hours to play football at a charter school in Harlem because they know playing ball and getting a scholarship is their best chance to get out, to succeed. Why are we making them work this hard? And look at this little girl who was locked out of her school for nearly an entire year.
Guess what? What?
Really? I didn't go to school in such a long time. You know I must do.
Look at this shit. This is happening right now in what we call and have been calling the best country in the world. Going back to what I was originally saying at the beginning of the stream. I will be damned if I'm going to allow that to be my kids, whether it's school they're looking for, whether it's a job, whether it's anything. They are not going to suffer for the people of my generation being ignorant and for us not doing anything. I'm not going to stand around and not do nothing. That is not right. In a country, in countries where, you know, this is supposed to be the best countries in the world. Yep.
Yes.
Do you feel that? You can't watch that video and tell me virtual learning is good for our children. The isolation alone is taking a toll on our children's mental health, and now we have the facts to prove it. Teen suicide attempts were up 99% in April in 2020 compared to 2019. Overdoses were even worse, up nearly 120%. Those aren't just numbers. Those are our children. Those are kids like Dylan Buckner of Northbrook, Illinois, just 18 years old, a good student, a popular kid.
I got a question. I got a serious question here. Whoops. I don't know what happened there. I got a serious question. If you, me, my kids, the neighbors' kids, the whole world right now is going crazy. Now this is gonna piss some people off. They're gonna be like, "Come on, Wayne." But if the whole world is going crazy right now, because we have TV, we have Netflix, we have internet, we have YouTube, we have all this stuff, and if we are still going crazy right now, what is happening to the people that are in jail, in isolation, and in there for non-violent crimes? What is happening to these individuals that we're putting in jail to reform them? Does that really build people back better, to put them in a cage and treat them like an animal? If the whole country and the whole world is going to shit right now mentally because of this isolation stuff, the jails aren't empty. People are going to jail every single day here. Even our pastors and priests. I'm speaking for Canada, of course. I don't know about in the States. No, they're putting people in jail here. Yeah. You learn more in jail than you do at... Yeah. I guess that is true. Anyways, my point is, though, is that it doesn't matter what the situation is. Treating people like animals is not good for people.
A star quarterback with 14 offers to play college ball. A young man on the rise. Dylan, he took his own life back in January.
Kenny Lake.
His parents said he was struggling with depression.
Keep your head up.
Which only got worse during the lockdown. His friends and community came together for a vigil after he died. If those friends had been able to get together with Dylan at any point during the last 12 months, have a burger, maybe study some algebra, would he still be alive today? How many more Dylans will it take before we stand up and say, enough? At some point, the pandemic will be over. Our kids will go back to school. And maybe, just maybe, we'll forget about this lost year.
No, we won't.
Maybe we'll forget about the people who fought to keep our classrooms closed, even when the science said it was bad for our kids. But don't do it. Never.
I'm going to cut it off there. Jim, people in jail have seen no change. They are locked up before and they are still locked up. Nothing has changed. I know security guards, or I know the people that work at the jails and stuff like that. They're not letting people out. Maybe they did for a short little bit, but I get messages all the time that there's people, because I'm part of an email group about people that aren't going back to jail now. So they released them because of COVID, and now they're supposed to go back to jail, and they're just not going back. So ever since that happened, they stopped doing that. It is the repeat offenders who are being let out. It is the repeat offenders who are being let out. If we can't even get that right, we are doomed. Yeah. See No Charges, great song.
Forget. Take action and vote out the governors, the mayors, the school board, and city council members who put the demands of the unions ahead of the health and well-being of our children. Remember, this is America. You have the power to fight back. So stand up. Make sure that the people who locked up your children never have the chance to do it ever again.
Amen to that, brother. Amen. So sad. We're in bad times. If there was a time to do anything against the people and to take away your rights, what am I saying? Are taking. Like, now is the time they're doing it. They are doing it. I want to hear this. This is going to be good. I'm just going to skim through this, okay? Because it's 55 minutes. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here.
Russia was sanctioned in very much the same way in the wake of...
Move the paper out of my binder here, but she will be traveling with the Secretary of Education, who was just confirmed, as you all know. They will be having a conversation with at these schools that they're visiting that have reopened about what has been effective, what has worked, what are the lessons learned, what do they need more assistance with, and certainly that is information that they will take back with them.
Anything about the three women who are accusing Governor Andrew Cuomo, and now this third accuser.
No, I can't watch her.
She actually worked.
Sorry, guys.
For the Biden-Harris campaign. So
it's 55 minutes of bullshit coming out of her mouth, and I'm not gonna listen to that. What was this?
You know what you never see, and it's kind of weird, is investigative reporting about teachers' unions. Some of the most corrupt institutions in the country, and definitely the most powerful. Teachers' unions are the single reason that millions of children, maybe yours, aren't going to school, and some of them are dying. It's not an overstatement. Now, teachers' unions say that they can't teach because it's unsafe. Science doesn't back that up, but nobody calls them on it. Unless a teachers' union executive literally posts Instagram photos from the Caribbean, and that actually happened in one case, no one covers it. No one bothers to report on whether the unions are lying or not. A lot of journalists don't have kids, so they don't care. People who do have kids do care quite a bit. In Berkeley, California, one group of parents is doing what the media refused to do. They call themselves the Gorilla Moms. We wish we could book them on the show to congratulate them, but we don't know who they are because they're anonymous. Just like many politicians, they fear retribution from the teachers' unions.
Yeah.
But since March of last year, the Gorilla Moms have heard from the head of the local teachers' union, Matt Meyer, that school absolutely cannot reopen. Sorry, can't teach your kids. They're going to languish at home online. So the Gorilla Moms decided to find out what Matt Meyer was up to. They just posted a video online showing Matt Meyer walking his own child to a private preschool. You're seeing pictures of it now. Meyer was caught. Hard to imagine anything more hypocritical or offensive, but he didn't apologize. He just said his own kid had no options. Quote, they're not public schools for kids her age. And that's true. But it's true because of people like Matt Meyer and because of journalists who aren't anywhere near as useful as a few anonymous moms with a camera in California. Whoever you are, Gorilla Moms, God bless you.
Wow. He's not going to get in trouble for saying Gorilla Moms? That's scary.
The news at 11 starts right now.
Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm looking at something right now in my province in Ontario here, but it's pretty much everywhere. This is kind of a cool map, if I do say so. Let me pull this up here. This is kind of cool. So, this right here is the map of the states, and these are like the total cases of coronavirus. Total cases 80,000. Florida. Texas 90,000. You see this? Vaccines. Ooh. Total doses given. So they're trying to say that these areas are vaccinated. You want to see something that's even more scary? Check this out. You guys have vaccines everywhere. Look at this. How many got vaccinated here? None. Saskatchewan. None. British Columbia. None. How many people in Ontario have been vaccinated? None. Yeah, no vaccinations in Canada yet. Quebec? None. Wow, eh? None. Florida, you guys, the total doses given 1,407. 1.4 million. Is there a reason why Puerto Rico's got more vaccinated people than Canada? New Mexico? Other countries? Let's check it out. India, 6 million. Brazil, 3 million. Turkey, it's saying here none in China. Look at that. Nobody's been vaccinated in China? You think there's something wrong with the data here? Does this make any sense? North Korea, South Korea, nobody's been vaccinated in these countries. In Russia, nobody's been vaccinated in Russia. Not one person in Russia. Alaska, 80,000 people have been Huh? Isn't that weird? Why is the world purple? I don't know. Here, that's the last 14 days. 14 days. So total, let's just say total. Okay, so total. Wow, look at that. Canada. Do you see something here? Do you see something wrong here? I want you guys to see this here. I want you guys to pay attention to this, okay? I don't know if you guys are noticing this on this map. And this map is yeah, take a look at this map. I want you guys to look at something here. This is interesting. I just noticed it. Canada has no vaccinations, apparently, according to this map. Right? None. United States, shitload. You guys are handing it out like it's candy. Look at all this places here. Oh, all these vaccinations. Look at China, 40 million total. So they vaccinated once and that was it. People fully vaccinated, no data. People given at least one dose, no data. Just 40 million people. That's it. Look at this. China, North. Look at these countries. Look at the countries that have no data. Ooh. Man, your bubble in the United States of coronavirus goes right out into the ocean. Is this your defense field, or is this like like what the fuck, man? He's a crazy. Look at this. China, the most populated, well, one of the most populated places in the world. Look at the coronavirus. Look at this shit. How's Russia doing? Look at that. Look at Russia. Just one area. United States, you guys are like, you're like super breeders. Look here in Canada. We just have 1 dot per. This shit is wild. Anyways, clearly it's got to be 100% right. So look at this. Okay, one more thing, and then I'll get off of the. Look at the. So it came up, it spiked like crazy, came down for a bit, then it spiked, came down, and look right here. Look, it's starting to go up again. So next week this should start to go up again. So, third wave, I'm going to say, is going to come in the next couple weeks because of that variant. Oh, man. And I love how they say the coronavirus disease. It's a disease. Did you see that? Coronavirus disease. Isn't a disease something you have for life? I'm just curious. Is a disease not something you have for life? I don't know. I don't know the correct terminology for that shit. All right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I see you, dog. You got it. If they test positive, they're not getting vaccinated. But we're going to give it to the old people first. Clearly that data was wrong. Clearly. Alright, let's get to this. Where was I? Alright, we got 15 minutes left here. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Last call. Last call for alcohol. Yes, Wayne, once you get this, you will have results forever. Well, I think I already have it. I already had it anyways. I should go should I go get tested? Should I go get tested, guys? Should I go get tested for COVID? I'd be stuck in the house for 14 days if I end up getting tested positive though. 40 days straight through streaming, COVID style. Could be. Nope, no test. Aw, this is how I know you guys care. You guys are awesome. I know a couple people have got the vaccine. They are fine. Microsoft wants to track every piece of content online. No, I didn't see that one coming. Seven says, do it. Take the test. I'll take the test if they do it anally. It's the only way I'm doing it. Wow, look at that melon, eh? Woo! Slick. Yeah, I'll take the test if they do it anally. I'd be sitting there, I'd be like, hey guys. Yeah. No lube. None. Take a look, champ. I mean, that's not what I meant. Hey Ashley, how you doing? Alright, quick shout out to everybody in here. Let's do this. Alright. Haven't done a shout out in a while there to everybody. Guys, if you're just tuning in, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. It does help me out tremendously if you hit the thumbs up button. Also, If you want to become part of the chat, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook, or whatever, YouTube chat here is the best. Hands down. Can't get any better. Don't even take my word for it. Just jump in the chat, say hi over on YouTube. With that being said, I want to say thanks to the Doggone Bag. Thank you very much, RH. Thank you. Uphill. Thank you very, very, very much, guys. You guys rock, man. I know there was more, but YouTube has this thing where it's glitching and it's not showing me everything. So, yes, Ashley, you guys are the best chat, hands down. No questions asked. Yeah. All right, let's see. I just want to check something really quick before, because we got 15 minutes left. Let's see. HR 127. Anybody know what the status is on that? What that Biden said at Wayne, hit that. Yeah, you got it. You got this. You got this. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I got 6 days. 6 days of COVID jail. No, not COVID. Watch what Wayne's on COVID jail right now. Just saying. Just saying. 7. I need to speak to you, 7. Maybe tomorrow. Let's set up something so we can talk. I gotta build a server. I have somebody that can literally build a whole website for me. That's basically just like YouTube, the whole platform, everything. Write the whole script, the whole 9 yards. I just need to build a server. 7. Oh man, buddy. Yeah, I need to build a server, something that can handle that. Gotta make it nice too. We're gonna get your welding skills there. We're gonna make a nice server with, I don't know, some crap in it. Baby Shark, do Baby Shark. That stinks. 7, you like it, man. What are you talking about? Happy birthday, Wayne. Damn, I was watching last night's stream. Last night's stream was crazy. Ooh, that's crazy. Thank you for watching last night's stream. I appreciate that. Big old COVID-infested hugs to all. Yes. Mike, thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. I really do. You guys rock, man. I can weld it for you, Wayne. I'll do it over the internet. Nice. Well, I was thinking more of getting it done and then shipped out. 7's been doing some pretty cool work with his welding machines. Alright. What the frig was I doing? I forgot what I was doing. I must have the COVID. Now I got Bidenism. Bidenism. Let's see. Gyms are limited to 2. Okay. Charger. Say update. Confronted by police 5 hours ago. Sexual assault in COVID jail. Okay. Here we go. We got to play this. We got 10 minutes until we shut down the stream, guys. Just so you guys know. Everybody that's on all the platforms right now, thank you very much for being there. I really do appreciate the thumbs up, the likes, the shares, whatever you got. I really appreciate it. 7, dropping the middle finger and oh yeah, hit the 40 before me. Fuck you. That's it. Okay, where was I doing? Oh yeah, here we go.
When I turned around, he was like, I'm already turned on.
So this is what you get part of that isolation camp. 7, thank you very much, man. I just realized that was 50. I thought it was 5. Even though it's color-coded, I was still an idiot. Holy smokes, my man. Jeez. Help me. That's crazy. That is crazy. Wow. Crazy, my man. Crazy. Okay, so part of that COVID. Yeah, she's loud. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it down. So part of that COVID package that we were talking about a while ago comes with this.
When I turned around, he was like, "Oh, I'm already turned on," and he's looking at himself in the mirror like a psychopath. I'm already turned on. I have a boner, and then I was like getting more irritated, scared. Okay, I'm like, this.
Wait a minute. This guy comes into her room, talks to her. I don't know whether, and that tells her he's got a boner. Who the hell talks like that anymore? Yeah, I talk like that to people. I talk like that to Brad S. I'm like, Brad, got boner.
You need to get out like now, you know. There was someone making noise again, so he refused. He waited, and finally, like the third time, when I turned around and like tried to escort him out, he told his pants were down.
Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a report of a young woman who says that
like, all joking aside, that's the kind of people right. Well, I want to go. That's the kind of people right there. That's crazy. RH says my message got deleted. Wayne, LOL. YouTube, your message got deleted. Yeah, I'm boner shaming that person. Wow.
she wasn't just forced to check into a federal quarantine hotel, but that in doing so, it left her helpless and that she ended up being sexually assaulted. This is beyond unacceptable, so please watch the report of this brave woman, whom I'll call Sarah, in full, and don't forget to share it to raise awareness about just how dangerous these COVID jails can be. Dre Humphrey here with Rebel News, and if you're in Canada, you've no doubt...
Dre Humphrey is covering the boner case. If this is true, and this woman isn't just talking, this is unacceptable on so many levels. It was unacceptable to begin with, but those security detail that's on that building, every single one of them need to be like vetted. That's unacceptable.
Heard about the despicable quarantine hotels that the federal government has sicked upon its own people simply for trying to return back to Canada. The title quarantine hotel is a little bit misleading, actually. It almost makes it sound like a peaceful getaway for some deathly ill people who have nowhere else to go. But in reality, as you can see at many of our investigative reports at rebelnews.com, these are often undisclosed locations where even healthy and asymptomatic people are forced to check in and have to wait to be told when they can check out. That's why we call them COVID jails here. But even that term, honestly, it's a little bit too nice. After all, prisoners in Canada can let their family know where they are. They're not forced to pay $666 a day to stay in prison, and they definitely are fed food and water in a timely fashion, unlike these people who claim that they had to wait 2 days to have food.
Like last 2 days, you eat 3 times for week. That's it.
It is possible to live without food.
Everybody will get refunds, okay? Everybody will get refunds. Get this. There's nothing we can accomplish by what...
Did you hear what he just said? Their cards will get refunded. Like, hey, don't worry. It's not bad enough we're locking you up and threatening you, and blackmailing you and shit like that. But hey, we're going to refund you, okay? So just relax. Listen.
That's it.
And it's supposed to go to the
refunds, okay? Everybody will get refunds. Get this. There's nothing we can accomplish by what's going on right
we
here.
want receipts all of it right now. Give us a proof that you will pay our money. You okay?
I will.
Yes, you can give us receipts to all of us.
I can't accomplish anything by what's going on right now. I can't accomplish.
But lack of food and water bottles isn't anything compared to what Sarah described to me in this interview. After traveling to the US to visit her boyfriend, Sarah tried to return home, only to be told that the negative COVID-19 test she received was not recognized by her country, and so her only choice was to go to a COVID jail. Now, Sarah told me that while she was being unwillingly detained, the lock to her door was removed and she was sexually assaulted by another detainee. An Ontario man named Robert Shikori has since been charged in the alleged assault. Now, we simply could not hear Sarah's story and not offer help for her. So that is where you come in. If you'd like to join us in offering Sarah a top-notch lawyer to take on what happened to her at no cost to her, then please go to nocovidjails.com. We simply cannot let places run that become more dangerous than the virus. Due to a publication ban, not by Sarah's request, we have to conceal her identity, and so her name is not really Sarah, and you won't be seeing her face. Take a look at what she had to say.
I came back. I did the protocol as they asked. Government workers informed me after spending over an hour or something on the phone that the 15-minute antigen test was enough to come into Canada, which I did. If not, I would have paid the extra $20 for the PCR test.
It's $20 extra?
I think it's $25, but US. But regardless, I mean, I would have paid. The money was not the problem, right?
Right.
And
706.
so as soon as I got here, they escorted me downstairs from the border. Someone escorted me, just me. I was by myself, no one else. Escorted me downstairs to this lady, which gave me 3 options. Either I go back to the United States, which was a pretty sarcastic answer. I call back the clinic to make sure they didn't do the PCR test and marked it down. Or I have to do the test here and they will bring me to an undisclosed location till I get my results.
What was going through your mind when you were told that you were in fact going to have to go to that undisclosed location?
I called my mom. I panicked a bit. I didn't know what to do. She wasn't giving me my passport back. My mom was not outside waiting for me hours, and she didn't understand why she can't know where I'm going. I just felt like I felt kidnapped. I don't know. I had like against my own will. Like I had no choice. I had to give in. There was no. I didn't know that I was possibly, if looking at videos online, that I was able to just walk out. I didn't. I had no choice.
Yeah, well, we're not prepared for this at all. I mean, Canadians should be able to just go home. Now, what type of setup, looks like you have a nice bed behind you, but what type of setup do you have at home to be able to quarantine safely?
Yeah, well, I stay away from my family if I'm around them. I do have a mask. Anything I touch.
Yeah, guys, now I can pretty much see what's going on the chat and stuff like that. So if you don't want to put all caps, that's fine as well. Just if you're talking to me, make sure you do put @Wayne Live and then your message so that it highlights so I know to pay attention, because there's so many chats going on right now that I'm having a hard time keeping track of all of them. So with that being said, if you're talking to me, you can put it in all caps, or you can put just @Wayne Live. Jade says refuse to pay. The problem with this is that you pay before you go. That's the problem.
Touch or we use different bathrooms. I disinfect everything regardless, like door handles, whatnot. I usually stay in my basement, which is a big space to myself.
She's a Biden supporter.
Here for my school and whatnot. I don't really interact with them much.
So you have a space that you could have come home to and safely quarantine.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no one over 65 in my house, so I was allowed to come home to quarantine.
So they take you in a shuttle of some sorts, or how did they transport you to the hotel?
They put me in a public taxi that was not coronavirus proof whatsoever. It was a saran wrap with a piece of beige tape holding it around.
You can see how many fingers I'm holding up. Your one
Nothing
thumb
looked
and middle
disinfected.
finger.
Nothing smelled disinfected. Just a regular public taxi, which I haven't taken. The only public, let's say, transportation what I took it was a plane, which I decided. So I was put in it was like the movie Taken. You just put me in a taxi, kidnap me, and bring me somewhere.
Wow. And so did you have to pay for that taxi, or?
No. They paid. Everything was on their own expense. But regardless, like I said, it was not about the money or whatnot. My mom,
right.
If I wanted to come home, like they would have helped me pay for something, you know?
Of course.
That was not about it.
Well, that's interesting if it's true that it's just a normal taxi is picking up these people who are so, treated like they're so dangerous to the country that they have to go to these quarantine facilities, and then they're ending up in a public taxi. So that's quite remarkable. Now, why don't you tell us what happened when things got even more scarier for you, and you're saying somebody entered your room?
Yeah, that was the following day. I had opened my door. I did not walk out of my door. I opened my door to peek to get some attention for the bottle of water that I had asked for since yesterday, and then like a couple of hours before the situation, the incident. And there was no one there except this guy across me waiting outside his door as well. Like he was at the door as well.
Oh,
just
706, absolutely
guy
not.
My age, start talking about coronavirus. I said, were you here against your own will? Where do you come from? Are you positive? Did you test? Things like that. And that's when he kind of switched the conversation to like, oh, it sucks. Like let's keep each other company. Come into my room. And then obviously I refused. At first it wasn't like so serious. I was like, haha. I have a boyfriend. Like we can't do that anyways. This that. And then I think the conversation just continued for like a little bit. I tried to change the subject. And he kind of just like let go of his door, which closes automatically, right? And it takes him like 2 steps to get into my room.
Oh, wow.
So he kind of just like, my door was already open, right? It was like leaning on me kind of thing. So he kind of just like pushed it. I moved a little bit out of the way, and he just walked into my room. The door automatically closed behind him. I did not say, hey, enter my room and close the door. No, it's a hotel door. It closes once it pushed, when I moved. So he made himself at home, then just started like touching me, asking me, like cornering me in the bathroom, had pulled out a condom, had asked me to sleep with him many times, and pretty much begging me, telling me he hasn't had sexual intercourse in a really long time, which that does not.
And at this point, the guy's in her room, the door is closed, he's following her around, and she's not freaking the fuck out at this point? I don't know about this. I think maybe she got a little lonely. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't say that yes or no. But I want to hear both sides. And her story's not making 100% right. Now, that's not to say that she didn't invite him in and then he got out of control afterwards. That's possible. Doesn't matter if a woman tells you to come into the room and says, come sit, talk, whatever, and then he tries to make advances on her and she says no, it's still no. It doesn't matter. You don't continue to go. So I think that's probably what happened, because why else would she let him in the room? So she was probably in there for a day or two and she was just going crazy, and he probably came off as being a nice guy. The guy weasels his way in there and then starts doing his thing, which is unacceptable.
Anyways, I don't know. Finally, I kind of moved him to get out of the bathroom, and I kept repeating myself, you need to get out. And that's when I started videotaping, because he was not getting out, and I was scared and I didn't know what to do. So I started videotaping him secretly, so you only kind of get the bottom view, but you hear everything.
So guys, that's actually, Blind Dude, that's a good point. So guys, as I'm going to say, if you guys want, please make a Twitch account. Follow me over on Twitch as well. Follow me here. Follow me on Twitch. This way here, if you guys something happens, we have that area. We could still stream. We could still talk. We can still coordinate things until I work out things with YouTube if that happens, or vice versa. If Twitch goes down, we still have YouTube. So I'm streaming to every single platform there is right now that you can stream live to. I'm streaming it to. So keep that in mind, guys. Go and subscribe, follow, like, do whatever you got to do to those other platforms so that we can all keep in touch if anything does happen with one or two of the platforms we're streaming to. One of the reasons why I bit the bullet and I'm paying for the restream is so that we can do that, so that we can get out to all the platforms, build communities everywhere. What about DLive? I have a DLive account, but I'm not streaming to DLive. Every other except for DLive, and that was because I just don't want to support. Well, the company's owned by China. All right, let's finish.
He kept telling me like, "Oh, you, come on!" Like just like trying to push me into all this, and I doesn't want to leave my room. Yeah. So that's when I kind of like escorted him to the front. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't leaving. He was behind me, and he's like, "I'll leave. Like if you make sure."
Okay, so the chat stays open if in Twitch if you pop it out and never close it. How do you pop it out? That's the problem. I'm not sure how to pop out the chat.
No security for me to get in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. So I said,
how do you pop out
I'll
the
do
chat?
as you ask. You know what I'm saying? I open the door. I look, whatever. We hear some noise, so I waited 2 seconds. And then when I turned around, he was like, "Oh, I'm already turned on." And he's looking at himself in the mirror like a psychopath. I'm already turned on. I have a boner. And then I was like getting more irritated, scared. And I'm like, you need to get out like now, you know. There was someone making noise again, so he refused. He waited, and finally, like the third time when I turned around and like tried to escort him out, he told his pants were down. His pants were down to like around his knee area, and he was like holding his genitals, touching him. So I don't know what he was doing, and that's when I kind of like said I was gonna scream for help if he has like 2 seconds to leave right now. That's when everything went downhill. Closed the door, called my boyfriend, called my mom. Everyone was freaking out. Called security. My boyfriend had called the cops. Security took them forever to come, and when they did, all they had to offer me was that bottle of water that I had begged for 2 days, and told me to lock my door and we'll be back, which never really came back till all the cops showed up, and the cops took a while too, which they apologized. They all got there. It was like 8 cops. I don't know how many ambulances. They called sergeants. There was like just all kinds of people there, and
I got it.
Wow, that sounds absolutely terrifying. I mean, what you're describing is, in my opinion, a victimization from the government that left you vulnerable to another victimization. Now, when you talk about how long it took to respond, roughly in minutes, how long are we talking about that it took to your cry for help?
Security-wise, I think it was 10-15 minutes to say.
Yeah, I
waited on the phone for a while, and like my boyfriend kept asking like, "Where are they?" And I said, "I don't know." Like, you know, it was like, so it was a while. It was enough time to, anything could have happened. I could have been raped. I could have been killed. I could have been suffocated. I could have been anything at that point. And when they came,
they have security. It's the security.
Yeah, how did they respond when you told them what had just happened?
That they just handed me the bottle of water and they told me to lock my door and they'll be back, which they never did. The police came. Finally, actually the important part, they wanted to bring me to the hospital because I already suffered from depression, anxiety. So my heart rate was really high and my blood pressure and all that. So just to make sure I'm fine and talk to someone, I agreed. And then so they told me they were going to bring me back to this facility, this room, which I refused.
Wow. I am just appalled to hear that. That is so disgusting.
I agree with her on that. That is disgusting. We'll continue this tomorrow. Blind You Think stepped away. Okay, So I popped out the Twitch chat, so we'll leave that open and continued that. I didn't know that if you leave it open like that, it goes. Is YouTube the same way? Probably not. Man, so what have we learned today? Kids, children, what have we learned today? We learned that at Wayne Live, I smell a planned government payout from this. I'm not sure why the fact he's in the room. Yeah, see, Seven, me and you, we kind of thinking the same way. She has a boyfriend. He called the cops rightly, like planned. You know, I know exactly. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not saying she did. I totally get what you're saying on that one, guys. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed, liked, followed, shared, smash the thumbs up. Share it out. Did I say share? Shared it out. Smashed it. Liked it. Go do it. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you want to check out my channel, Watch with Wayne. Next Monday, we're premiering. We just put it on break and time out for now. I want to say thank you to apparently nobody, because there's no viewer activity on so everybody that donated tonight. Again, YouTube, I don't know what's going on with their program here, but YouTube, everybody that donated tonight and helped support the channel, thank you very much. It's how we keep the lights on here. It's how I support myself, my family, and everything else. So it wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't for you. With that being said, there's 109 people still in the chat. Thank you guys very much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. We are getting more and more people on this channel on YouTube every single day. Twitch has been growing pretty good too. We're gonna eat through the stuff to get monetized on that very, very quickly. So that is awesome. So guys, I really can't thank you guys enough for all of the love tonight, every night for that matter. I got I don't know, Seven, if you've seen this yet, but oh, there. RH, thank you very much for that donation. Not only did you is it awesome that you're supporting the channel, but you just triggered it to pop up here. So on the dog bag, the doggone bag, thank you very much for your donation. RH, again, for your donation. Uphill Brawler, Mike, 7, you guys rock. Thank you guys so much. What is your Twitch account on Twitch? Watch with Wayne. Watch with Wayne, guys. Watch with Wayne. Morris, the king of Russia, with a big thumbs up. Thank you, Morris. What do we got? We got 158 thumbs up tonight on this channel. That's actually really good for this channel. Really, really good. Well, I don't even know what we have for subs anymore on this channel, but it's got to be up there. Got to be close to 6,000 now. Deleted. S. Barber. Okay, so 7. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. RH Morris, the king of Russia. Big thumbs up. You guys rock. Absolutely rock. Here's a little outro, and then we'll. What are we gonna do here? Hold on. Gotta do this for Lori. If Lori's still here, I don't even know if Lori's here. She might have gone. Oh, where is my... I gotta sign in. Is that what you're gonna make me do? You're gonna make me sign into this stupid shit? Blind dude. Here, let's do this. And then we'll go here. Alright, guys. As always, can't thank you guys enough for everything you do. You guys are absolutely awesome. I'll leave the Twitch chat open. We'll see if that works. And then people can talk and shoot the shit and do that. But tomorrow night, guys, tomorrow morning, I'll be streaming on the YouTube channel while I go and pay it forward for my tea to give somebody. It was absolutely awesome today. So, guys, if you can't be good, hope you don't get stuck, brother. Okay, Clayton, Steve, Mike, Esper, John, Morris, you guys, Dev, thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you guys so much. Love you. And if you can't be good at it. Keep your head up, but out of sight. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. I really do.